Welcome to Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Welcome!
Look who's back, Mr. Jack Pattillo.
Hey, I'm back from Australia.
Did anyone else notice that he was gone?
I did. Really, I missed tons of stuff. Like we were just talking before the podcast, like so much stuff I missed.
How long were you gone? Like 2.5 weeks?
I was gone 2 weeks.
It's like I was saying earlier, it was like talking to a time traveler, like someone who's been like cryogenically frozen and then thawed out, and it's like you have to explain everything that's happened to them.
Yeah. So I've missed all of like Game of Thrones. Like last night, I went and watched 3 episodes of Game of Thrones to try to catch up, and I'm still one behind. So.
Had you not seen any of them?
I saw the first episode, and then I left because I left on a Sunday. So I left on the day they aired episode 2.
Last night's episode of Game of Thrones was so good.
Okay. They're all good.
It was really good.
This is probably one of the best seasons of television.
No, dude, I gotta say,
holy crap! Like I thought last week's was like one of my favorite.
The end
episodes,
of 3 and 4 are both amazing.
Yesterday's was even better.
No, I thought the ending of the one 2 ago.
3, episode 3.
Yeah, was that what it was? The ending of that was the sudden ending, and then they did that again last week.
And then the rock song.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they seem to be like saying "fuck you" with the end credit songs now in general. Even this week was like real like a lilty Irish thing sung by a little girl.
And have you noticed all these like sort of these new supporting characters that are popping up that are pretty famous actors? Like Mackenzie Crook is in there now. He's like in the north of the wall, and then
I don't know who Mackenzie Crook
is. He's Dwight in the British Office.
He's Gareth.
Gareth.
We talked about it.
Wait. He's in Game of Thrones. Where is he?
He's the Ward. He's the Ward.
You and I had a conversation about this on the podcast.
He's the Ward.
Shit.
He's the one that Jon Snow walks by and he's looking up and his eyes are white and he's seeing the bird floating around. That's him.
Oh no, we talked about that character, but that's the dude.
That's Mackenzie Crook.
Yeah. He's also in Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
He's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
He's the guy with the wooden eye.
Yeah, him.
And
like
you
the fat guy, the bald guy.
Yeah, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean. What's wrong with you?
This did not happen. Do you remember this conversation?
I'm not everywhere you go.
Wait, he said we did it on the podcast.
On the podcast? No.
No, it was
you're mental.
No, it was on the one.
You're having a lapse.
Bullshit. This was not on the podcast.
He's having a lapse. On the podcast in Atlanta when I was like, Mackenzie Crook's on it next week. Holy crap.
Oh.
What?
I don't know.
You weren't on the podcast in Atlanta.
I was!
Gavin, we never went to Atlanta. What are you talking about?
What is this Atlanta? And then Noah Taylor, is that his name? Noah something. He was the.
There's a lot of famous people that aren't actually famous.
Who's this guy? He did the thing.
Bill Sandusky.
No, he was the manager in Almost Famous.
That movie was like 15.
Wait, no, that's like
they got Noah. What's his name? He wasn't busy already.
I think it's Noah Taylor, but no, he's the guy. He was the guy with Jamie and the Conan O'Brien chick. Like he's the guy running that group.
She's not actually from Conan O'Brien. She looks like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
What's her name? Brynn of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Saw her butt. Now let me ask you a question.
Spoiler.
That's not the spoiler. You know, we do Game of Thrones night at my house every weekend on Sunday. Mm-hmm. From my old house, I used to have a media room with projector, and we had a great story of Chris like destroying that room to get the projector out of it. But somehow all the equipment did survive. The room got destroyed, but the equipment survived. And so now we have all that stuff. We set it up outdoors, and we show Game of Thrones outside with a big fire pit and all that stuff. And we grill meats and eat cheeses, and apparently talk about the dude from The Office, the UK Office. But my favorite part of that is that now there's like, whenever the show comes on, you know, when the theme comes on, everybody likes that. But right before the theme comes on is the warning slate that tells you what's in the episode to be wary of.
Yeah, and if
you see nudity and graphic violence, everybody just cheers.
Whenever I see nudity, I say it like Rick James in the old Dave Chappelle skit. Nudity!
Well, people were complaining this week because there was too much dude nudity, but...
Holy crap, look at your socks.
You gotta have a balance.
Whip them up.
Oh, wow.
They are amazing.
You ain't able to see
look at that nice zoom. Well done.
Camera work. They're,
I'm feeling lucky.
Pink and blue.
So there was one scene. I don't know how this might be a spoiler. Probably isn't. There was one scene in the last episode where I'm not gonna do it.
You know what? At this point, I mean,
one day is not enough spoilers. 1 week.
You mean the last episode? Mean last night?
It looked like when he was having a bath, he had a sock puppet on. That's all I'm gonna say. It was. I couldn't watch him with a straight face.
Why could you see
I expected him to go.
No. He means like in the bath with him.
Oh, I know what you mean. I thought you meant
absolutely.
I I thought you meant he was covered up, but the actor
I
was.
expected him to turn over and talk to it, like Mr. Hat.
So,
Mr. Hand,
But
literally.
it is kind of a thing where you would not want to put that in the water. You would want to keep that elevated.
Probably not, yeah.
But it was extraordinarily distracting.
She looked filthy. You don't know what was in that water.
She cleaned up pretty well.
yeah, she
He
not
was
looking
dirty.
nearly as dirty as
I
him.
was actually annoyed that he wasn't getting any cleaner as the scene went on.
I agree. I was like, why don't you sweat off some of that grime? You're in a hot bath.
Yeah, do you think he was like sparkling clean from like here down? Like everything from here down was clean, everything from here up was just filthy and covered in shit. So
Grubby
how?
bloke.
So I mean, how long was that guy carrying that canteen with filthy stuff in it, just for in case there was a chance for a joke?
Oh God.
Dude, I don't know.
He's like, this might be really funny at some
I'm
point.
gonna hold on to this.
Yeah, we are getting dangerously close to spoilers, but one of the, I guess it's hard to say who's a villain in Game of Thrones because pretty much everybody is. I mean, in this last episode, there was like so many plots being hatched. You're just like, oh my fuck, these people are just rotten to the core. You know, it's like medieval Seinfeld.
I do love this subplot now that's popped up with the kid who's helping out with Tyrion and is it Bronn? Like
You're talking about Podrick?
yeah, Podrick's little sub thing where they
How
send
the hell do you guys remember all these character names?
I watched the show.
You also
No.
read the book.
I'm reading the first book. Podrick is not in the first book.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
anyway,
Pod.
where Podrick they have him at the whorehouse or whatever, and like, okay, you take care, we'll be back, and then they're like, oh, they didn't charge me for anything. I'm like, wait, what? Like, sit down. What happened?
Because he's
Yeah.
a beastly penis.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, they never explain it. They just all
Yeah. No,
talk about it in hushed tones.
Yeah, they kind of like in the next episode, Ross is kind of trying to explain it to Varys, and she says that he wasn't necessarily bigger than normal. Just it was difficult for them to explain.
Right. It's nebulous.
That's just a weird, funny subplot.
There
I
is
love
a chart, an online chart somewhere of the Game of Thrones characters, and it's great. It's like pasty no dick, incest knight, incest queen.
So Burnie, you're talking about how you have this Game of Thrones night and you invite people over. Like Burnie always invites me over, and yesterday he sent me an invite, which is very gracious. Thank you. And I felt like I finally had to reply, and I was like, listen, I really want to go. I'm just afraid I'm going to go. There's going to be people there who aren't going to stop talking, and I'm going to fucking hate them because of it.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's like
Yeah.
I said two people in this couch I invited, and I got typical responses from both of you. Gus, I got the response of, I'm afraid to go because I like everyone who's going, and I'm afraid if I go and spend an evening with them, I'm going to hate them.
Right.
That was your response.
And then these are
That's a
people
legitimate response.
that we have to, work with.
No,
and
it's
be
not.
With.
It's
Yeah, it
fucking
is.
mental.
No, like if I go to a movie and someone's talking to my ear the whole time, I will hate that person.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to
Yeah.
sit down. I want to enjoy Game of Thrones. I want to hear
Yeah.
this. I don't want to have someone yakking and be like, "What just happened? What did they say?" You know
Yeah.
why I know everyone's names? Because I watched the fucking show and there's not someone yakking in my goddamn ear the whole time.
Let me tell you, you'll be happy to know that does not happen.
Yeah, it was the one time I
So
went,
you-
it was tough.
But yeah, everyone is pretty good. There hasn't been anything. I think the biggest thing is like Joe the cat is now an outdoor cat, so he wanders through every now and then.
Nice.
And so
How's
every now-
Joe doing?
Every now and then, and a train goes by. I didn't know this till I moved to downtown Austin. That trains go through downtown Austin, and so a train goes by every now and then.
There's that train line that goes. It's that bridge, right? Like the train bridge.
The Missouri Pacific.
Yeah.
Is it the same
Mopac.
train that fucked with us back at the old Buda office?
No, I don't know. It might be.
That train's fucking
It might
following
be.
you.
Yeah,
'Cause that train
could be.
goes by my house too. Like
That train's everywhere.
It follows
How
south.
the fuck is that train everywhere in Austin?
Dude, let me tell you something. This thing doesn't start until 10 p.m. every Sunday night. And halfway through it, that train comes through and blares its horn for about a minute straight. Shouldn't there be like a city ordinance that a train can't come through at 10:30 on a Sunday? Just
no, they do that because that means he's crossing a road crossing that doesn't have a thing that comes down.
So you would
So
rather
get
him
a thing that
plow-
comes down.
Yeah, that seems safer. You know what's safer than honking your horn? Putting a thing that stops cars from going through and being in danger.
It doesn't
true.
stop cars. You can just go around him like that.
Yeah, okay, well, it lets people know there's a train coming.
yeah.
Rather than the
It
fucking...
doesn't stop cars.
It won't stop a car.
Well,
You
it
can-
doesn't
even
stop
if
plastic.
the arm was all the way down, a car could barrel through it. I don't
Yeah.
mean it's like a fucking deflector shield that they deploy.
They're gonna build a building. They're gonna build a pharmacy. So that something. What stops a car? I mean, so they erect cement barriers. Do
put
you
a-
have those things in Europe where the pylons come up out of the ground?
The bollards.
I fucking love those. Those
They
make the
just-
best videos on live.
They
feed.
destroy the underneath of a car.
It's like a bus. What is it? Like a bus goes through and they're not. It's only
Yeah.
buses are allowed to go through.
I had one come up under my foot while I was walking.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That'd been awesome to see that.
I just
They
rose up.
launch you in the air.
Well, I tripped on it first, and I stood, and then I just rose up, and my friend was like, "What? What are you doing?"
You balance on like the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But the other person that I asked if they wanted to come to Game of Thrones night was Gavin, and I asked him twice, and we were in the middle of a longer conversation on text, and he we're just talking away, and I said, "Oh, by the way, Game of Thrones is night if you want to come." No response, nothing. Like didn't even acknowledge that I asked the question. Then we started talking about something else, and I said, "And are you coming? Because I'm getting stuff for the grill tonight, so I just need to know if you're coming or not." Once again. No response. It's like Gavin's thing of like doesn't want to be negative in any way, so he won't even say no. He's not coming.
He was breaking up with you.
Oh, pretty much. Little mini breakups,
That's
right?
what he does. He doesn't.
Gavin just broke up with you.
But we're back together now, so.
Why, you gonna come next week? I don't know if we're gonna be. Yeah, I'll be here.
Again, no reply.
He dodged the question.
Absolutely no reply. Going kind of back, rewind here. How was your trip to Australia,
was
Jack?
fucking awesome, dude. That country is amazing.
Where'd you go?
I started in Sydney, and then I went to Melbourne, and then I went to the Gold Coast.
Sydney, then Melbourne, then the Gold Coast.
Yes.
And the Gold Coast is on the northern coast.
Is it northern or
Northeast,
southern?
I think.
Where is it?
Everything is East Coast. Everything is East Coast.
North Coast. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So North Coast. But
Perth
it was
is West Coast.
Sorry?
Perth is West Coast.
Well, I'm saying like all the major cities aside from Perth are
Oh,
on the
you
East
fucked
Coast.
up, dude.
I said aside from
You
Perth.
fucked
Perth
up.
is a major city.
Perth has some hard motherfuckers in it.
I just said Perth was a major city. I said aside from Perth, all the major cities are on the East Coast.
Perth is like the Canada though of Australia. Everyone there is super nice.
Really?
Like they're just
Really?
like ultra polite. You didn't? Oh, you went with me to Perth.
man.
Everyone we met in Perth was like super grateful that we came all the way out to Perth.
That's everyone in Australia though.
I like Perth a lot.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like Melbourne was really awesome. It reminded me a lot of Austin, actually.
Yep.
Like had a really great the food scene there was really great. Like just the club scene was cool. Like just you can go get a drink wherever you want, and people are super friendly and nice. And they had there's whole alleyways full of graffiti. Like at one point,
Little Collins.
Yeah, I was with Eric Cherry, who works for Hanabi. He does all of our DVD distribution in Australia. And he's like, "Oh, check this out! It's a graffiti alley." And I was like, "All right." We rounded a corner, and it was a whole row of school kids were spray painting this wall. Like it was like an art class to tag this wall.
Yeah, it's more like street art as opposed to graffiti, which I know is like a weird fine line to cross, but it
was really cool. And it was it was kind of confined to just that area. And then the public this is one thing I love about other countries and I hate about Austin. The public transportation there is amazing, and it's one of those things I wish we had. I wish we had an easy way to get from South Austin to downtown to go do stuff. I don't do stuff.
They're working on it.
Are they though?
Yeah. No. What's somebody was just talking about a light rail that's going through somewhere, and I forget.
Oh, they're
where
talking about making it go from the airport to downtown
to Mueller
to UT or to Mueller.
Yeah, to Mueller.
Oh, because Mueller's a hopping place.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, it was
it will be once it gets public transportation though.
Yeah.
Well, is Leander becoming a hopping place because of public transportation?
I would not compare Mueller to Leander.
Well, but I mean, it's they built a light rail, and the first thing, instead of going from downtown to the airport, which would have made sense, or to the football stadium where 100,000 people go.
How did we go from obscure Australian geography to even more obscure Austin, Central Texas?
Anyway,
blame the fucking Austin voters. They voted down the 2 previous packages, which were much more useful than the fucking current one they voted on.
Don't blame them. They won't use it. I mean, nobody in Texas is going to use public transportation. You won't.
If we
could go to your house and you would still drive your car.
If we had a line that goes from South Austin,
ride their cars across the street. All right,
that's true.
They live in the office.
Yeah, we could hit apartments with a rock and they drive cars from there to here.
To our overcrowded parking lot.
Yeah.
It's I hope I can find a parking space. Just fucking drive. Just fucking walk.
Yeah, just walk.
But in the same sense, you always complain about this. You are within the acceptable radius of people that could not drive to work. You're 2 miles away from work.
I'm 3.5 miles away from work, which is right on that line.
Totally acceptable.
And so
Hop on
I'm
a
actually
bike.
I'm getting a bike. I'm going to start biking into work.
That's a dangerous ride.
I swear.
No, it's fine.
Actually, there are bike lanes that go all the way from my house to here.
It's totally
which is
fine.
nice.
I've done it.
I wanted to punch. I wanted to roll down my window and punch someone the other day.
Really?
I was driving down Duval, and there were 4 bicyclists. And rather than being all in a line in the bike lane, there were 3 of them side by side, and then another one. So 2 of them were out in the middle of the street.
They're vehicles.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And there's oncoming traffic, so I can't get around them. Then finally there's a break, and I have to go around, and oblivious as shit.
Can you imagine anything more Austin than a dude in a Prius hopping out and punching a cyclist? That would be. It'd be like.
Or maybe it was in a go-kart or something like that.
Like the sissiest slap fight of all time.
Get in your lane.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm going to start doing that because we're doing this Fit for RTX thing, and I did my test this morning, so I'm in now.
Gervais?
Even though we're drinking delicious alcohol right now, it's probably.
Oh, you did the bod pod?
Yeah, I did the bod pod.
What'd you get?
I did well. I got an A+.
Because I was not here for the podcast last week. I was doing a a cross-country road trip. I was driving from San Francisco all the way to Austin, and we were talking about. I mean, you're talking about the public transportation system. While we were making this road trip, we were talking about when the interstates were built, and I'm sure there were cities that were just off the interstate that were thriving burgs before that. But then when the interstate came in, things close to the interstate just took over, and those little places died.
Isn't that the premise of Cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is, right? Yeah, that is. And in fact, we were on Route 66 at one point.
There you go.
Yeah, if you come from California to Texas, you got a couple different ways you can go, and one of them is like taking I-10, which basically runs all the way from Los Angeles, the western coast of the U.S., all the way to Florida. You can take that road if you want to.
I've driven the length of that road
It's
from
terrible.
coast to coast.
Especially like when you
it's
realize.
awesome.
Well, it's terrible when you realize that you get to Texas and you're halfway
You're
done.
halfway there.
Yeah.
El Paso is the halfway point between
This
here and
place
LA.
is too big.
Texas is too big.
The whole country is inconveniently big.
Austin
I'm
is
sorry.
Austin is right in the center of Texas, but it really is on the western edge of like the habitable part of Texas.
Yeah.
West of Austin is just nothing.
Yeah, you've got like what
Fredericksburg is
and then
that's like your last stop.
and then El
on
Paso, and
Yeah.
that's about it. No, Lubbock's way too far north.
That's actually the way we came in. We came in through Arizona, then we went by the Grand Canyon,
Okay.
and then we went down through Albuquerque, and then through Lubbock, and then came to Austin.
Yeah, there's a sign if you're going west on I-10, right when you cross into Texas at Orange, which is the first city you hit, and it says like Houston 30 miles, El Paso 800 something miles.
Yeah, I think they
It's
do that
like-
just to fuck with
yeah,
you.
it's like,
Just to give you a sense of the
Yeah.
scope of the length of the state.
Yeah, that is brutal. I've made that drive to LA. It sucks.
Everyone is on Twitter. Everyone. I just logged into the hashtag RT podcast, or just finally added it. Here's a column, so I'm catching up on my Twitter. Everyone is like waiting for Chris to say anything. They're all commenting how Chris has literally said nothing. One guy said, Chris has yet to say anything on the podcast, yet he's made me laugh the hardest. So,
I don't know.
and Chris, you did the same thing to us right before the podcast. What did he say that made us laugh so hard?
No, at Baker's Dozen.
Instead of Baker's Dozen was 11.
It's one away.
I must have missed that. Was I in the other room?
It's 2 away.
You were frantically.
But I knew it was one away from a dozen.
Right.
The standard deviation of.
Yeah.
Look at you, Mr. Mathematics, a standard deviation.
I took math. I took calculus.
Here, let me read this thing.
All right,
here.
read that.
I want to remind everyone that this episode is brought to you by.
So somebody asked me again today how I was kind of when you were reading that I was hold up the Burnie bobblehead. Somebody asked me today how we got like certain domains. We talked about I think at one point on the podcast we talked about the Let's Play, not a domain but account name on
the YouTube
that
channel.
we got too. We've always grabbed stuff early, you know.
We used to always just register dumb domains just for fun.
You sold one for an amount, didn't you, once?
Yeah, one time.
What was it?
No, I'm getting it.
We had a friend who had paintball.com,
Yeah.
and he actually was the guy who introduced Burnie and I. So yeah, he made a lot of money off selling that domain name.
How much
Yeah,
did you make?
yeah,
How
he-
many millions?
He did
Not
not make millions,
millions.
but he made a lot.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, he bought it from somebody who he didn't register initially. He bought it from somebody else.
Oh, really?
'cause he saw it had value and then sold it for a significant markup later.
That's all declining now, right? Is it?
What's that?
.coms and all that? Like,
Listen,
nobody
I
cares.
always say like but the fact that it's declining is what makes I think services like Foursquare more Squarespace more worth it because it's like a lost art, but you still have to have a presence on the web.
Yeah.
You have to have that because if you base like say you start a business or you start like something like what we do, I think a lot of people who watch our stuff, you know, have aspirations to do something similar. If you just base everything on YouTube or on Facebook or even Tumblr and stuff, whatever's, you know, the darling of the moment, eventually those things do go away. It doesn't seem like it, but people will always find us at roosterteeth.com. I mean, that will always exist. It's like a backbone of the internet, you know, and so you need a place to do that. And
Plus,
Well, that was
on
like-
some of those other sites, it's harder, and you can't really cultivate a community or a sense of belonging amongst people. Like when you have your own website, it's easier to interact directly with people who are consuming your content.
Yeah.
Good luck commenting on anyone on a YouTube video.
well, yeah, it's like I always like to say like the best example that I can make about how even the big things of the internet eventually go away is that Tila Tequila is somewhere right now and she still has 2 million MySpace friends. You know? That she exists out there.
Do they
But-
carry over to
Do
the
you think
new
she still
MySpace?
has that on her resume?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was a huge achievement at the time. It was a big fucking deal. that
Yeah.
She got. And same. Do you remember Dane Cook got to 1 million MySpace friends and made a video for it and all that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, even like what's his name, Ashton Kutcher, when he had 1 million followers on Twitter, it was like, oh my god, he had 1 million followers.
Right.
Like, Who's number one on Twitter right now? Does anyone know?
Bieber.
Obama.
Is it Obama?
Yeah, wasn't Ashton Kutcher in a fucking
He was in a
Twitter follower race with CNN?
CNN break,
To
which
hit a
wasn't
million.
even CNN.
To hit a million.
That's
Those numbers
so-
escalate really quickly. Did you know that our YouTube channel just hit 4.5 million subscribers?
Yeah.
Already.
And we hit 4 million, I think 25 days ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things kind of escalate.
There's a weird threshold to hit now. It's like exponential growth.
Right.
It's like we're rocketing up. Even the Let's Play channel, are approaching 1 million. We're at like 700,000 already. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Before we started the podcast,
Not surprising to me. I mean, it's
before we started the podcast, Jack was telling me that he recently saw Ricky Gervais on The Daily Show, and he had shown up to promote his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And so Jack pulled up his YouTube channel, and we were looking at it, and we were watching one of his videos. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny video. How many views does it have? It's like, over 3 million. I was like, wow, that's really good. How many subscribers does he have? How many did he have?
It was like 105,000.
105,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ricky Gervais went on The Daily Show to promote a YouTube channel.
Promote to try to get people to subscribe to a YouTube
It wasn't
channel.
like
believe it.
it wasn't like I have a movie coming out. Like literally, his backdrop was YouTube.com.
I believe
Ricky
that
Gervais.
too. But look at how ineffective it was. He still only has 105,000
Yeah, that stuff doesn't translate
subscribers.
at all. Well,
Because then people have to watch something, then like pick up their laptop
Yeah.
or their computer and be like, oh, what was that thing again? And type it in. There's like no easy
Well, let me ask
integration
you this.
path.
But there's another step there, which is that if you're watching a video and you say, hey, hit subscribe, you're getting those endemic YouTube viewers who are watching it. If you tell someone on the Daily Show to go to YouTube, as someone who would watch the Daily Show and then potentially go to YouTube, I don't even know if I have an account on YouTube. I don't think I have an account.
I
Really.
think we talked about this. You weren't on the podcast when we talked about that.
Oh, really?
If
It's
you have
like-
a Gmail address, you have an account.
Yeah, that is true. It's
Yeah,
always
but
trying to
do
give
you
me the
sign
link
in? I mean, I think what I said was
Never
the
sign in
only
to
reason I sign into YouTube, the only reason I have a YouTube account is to see tits. Because age-gated videos, that's
Yeah.
the only reason. Like, if it wasn't for that, I would never have to sign in. I guess upload.
They don't
videos
actually
for-
show tits, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I
If
thought
it's,
they-
I'll
no,
show
you
it-
some- I'll show you some
it
tits.
has- it has
I'll
to
show you
be
some tits
educational
right now.
value.
I will pull up tits that are not educational on that TV.
Yeah, just say it's some African tribe or something.
No, you
No,
don't
no,
bullshit.
no. There's
No, because it's
Gavin.
YouTube doesn't do porn. So like,
No, there's no
what's-
porn. I didn't say I watch people fucking.
All right.
Go find boobs right now. Let's go.
It was implied.
You want to do this? You want to do this?
pass me
All
the
right, let's do
keyboard.
this. All right, guys. Good
All right,
luck.
let's have a
Do
countdown.
we talk about this on the Nerdist podcast? We just re-recorded the Nerdist podcast. The
I'm
one
gonna
we did
start a
during
timer.
South by Southwest.
You just Googled
Wow.
boobs on YouTube.
The one we did for South by Southwest. Apparently, we explained it on Chris's podcast, but there was some audio issues with it, and Gus heard what they were, and they're pretty goddamn ridiculous audio issues. So that one was unusable. So Chris Hardwick was in town last Friday for the Moon Tower Comedy Festival.
Good dude. Real good dude.
Yep, and he stopped by, and we recorded a new version of the podcast. It's Chris Hardwick, Gus, me, and Joel Heyman. And I think we're going to see boobs on YouTube right now.
I had to sign in to see it, and I don't want to sign in.
Oh, what was the name of the video?
America's Tribute to Boobs. That's literally the name of the video.
All right. Well,
So it doesn't
you-
have to be educational. It could just be boobs.
It could just be boobs.
Just flinging around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did talk about on that podcast. I don't want to steal some of the discussions we had on that podcast, but we had some really fun discussions about YouTube in general and some funny trends we've all noticed on YouTube. So that podcast, I think, should be out on Friday. sometime
Hopefully.
around there. I think so, right? That's when the Nerdist
Way
podcast
to
comes out?
lean on him.
Yeah, well,
You
we'll
better
see.
come out
We'll see.
now.
Yeah, I felt bad. He was talking about how he kept getting tweets sent to him, being like, "Where's the podcast? Where's the podcast?"
And he even expressed that same problem that we have, which is you can explain it, but then it just gets lost.
Yeah.
The explanation of like, oh, we didn't have good audio and we couldn't put it out. And if someone's not on Twitter when you say that, they just come back again like, where's the podcast? And you just I have to sit there and explain it all day.
Over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could somehow
Pin a tweet.
a tweet.
Well, even that, like when I was in Australia, I was there for 2 weeks, and I had people who are now tweeting me, like, "Hey, you're coming to Australia. Let me know when you're in Sydney." And I was like, "I was in Sydney 2
There's
weeks."
a time difference.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
I tweeted about it while I was
Still
there.
2
I said,
weeks
"Hey,
ago for
come
that.
meet me at this bar." Like, I had a really awesome time when I was in Sydney. I ended up like saying, "Hey, I'm going to be at this bar at X time," and like 30 people showed up for it. It was really cool.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like it's as amazing as the internet is for communication. It also is amazing at showing you at how poor it is at communication because
Yeah.
people can miscommunicate with you all the time as
Absolutely.
well. And so we talked about this 1,000 sometimes, I think, in different ways.
Someone asked when we're going to print boobs on the 3D printer. I actually had not thought about that.
Have you talked about your new collection of crap that you
No, I've got some stuff we printed on the 3D
Oh,
printer
yeah,
here.
yeah. You got the castle. We've printed that castle 9 fucking times.
So, well,
That's my
first of all,
favorite.
this is my favorite. It's like a bolt and a nut that actually screw and unscrew together.
You can't tell, but the texture on that is.
It's
great.
actually really awesome.
knobbly.
We got a...
So does it print the bolt and the nut separately? Or does it print them already together?
No, it prints them side by side.
That'd be pretty cool.
This little castle thing.
It's weird to hold a thing and then say you
Kind
printed
of
that.
out of focus, but
Yeah.
you can see it's got
Yeah,
a
the
lot
word
of little
printing,
detail
we
on
need
it.
another word besides printing.
Fabricated.
Give me the castle.
This little
I don't want that, I want the castle.
yes.
Oh.
Oh.
This,
Ow, that
3D
actually hurt. Get stabbed by a
Achievement
spider.
Hunter logo.
Oh yeah, no. So that right there, we got this cool games case.
Games.
this
And
fits on
like
the games
they have a
case.
replaceable like logo on the front, and so Ryan actually made an Achievement Hunter version where we can pull off the old one and put that one on.
And then this little box. Have you heard
Oh
about
my
this
God.
box?
There's nothing better
Listen,
than
okay,
nothing better than replacing our
Cut to
sponsor's
Gavin's
logo
face
on their
when you show.
product.
Cut to Gavin's face when you're showing that thing. He
So,
is.
have you seen this box, Bernie?
No, what is it?
So, Ryan, being the genius that he is, I don't know what camera
Evil
I'm looking at,
genius.
he took the motor out of an Xbox 360 controller
Yeah.
and put it to this switch and this circuit board and this battery, and you can turn it on so that every 90 seconds it vibrates like that, like the motor's going off.
That's badass.
And then he hid it in Gavin's desk.
In Gavin's desk, he dug a hole underneath the monitor of Gavin's desk, buried it inside of it, and then covered it up with the monitor. And Gavin, I've never seen Gavin more legitimately pissed off in
He's
my
getting annoyed.
life.
Not gonna lie, it was
It's
getting
aggravating.
annoyed.
Let me see that thing.
Like,
So we have a video of it. It's not ready to be shown yet, but we'll have a video of
Yeah.
Gavin's
I couldn't
box.
take a video.
I'm gonna
of
slide
it.
it over.
You
for
remember when we did remember when we launched Achievement Hunter, and to promote it, I made the bet with Jeff. I bet him $1,000 that he couldn't get 10,000 gamer
Yeah.
points, or however you say
Gamer
that, gamer score in 7 days, and he fucking destroyed it and got it in 3.5. This was a strategy that I used.
yeah.
I bought these things off ThinkGeek. They're a lot smaller
the
than this.
Annoyatrons.
Annoyatron.
Yeah.
And it has like at random intervals, it'll play like a chirp, like a metallic chirp. I think I bought 8 of them, and then went over to visit them like on the first day. I chucked them in air vents. I was like, because they're like
Oh,
little thin
God.
things. They were everywhere behind the fridge, and they were just going off constantly.
You know,
I actually
my-
felt bad about that.
The
That's
thing
evil.
with that though is that because it was hidden in my desk and I was so annoyed that I couldn't find it because I have a hole in my desk already and I was rummaging around in there.
That
So
is
then
awful.
I started wailing on the desk. I was trying to find a hammer. I was like, I'm gonna beat this thing. And then after I punched my desk a few times, Ryan told me that it shorted out and started going every 20 seconds instead of every 90 seconds. So it was just going like.
It started going faster, and then Gavin at some point
I
was
was
like, "I
livid.
hate all of you guys," and like, yeah, because I was filming it obviously, and Gavin like he spotted my laptop filming it, and so he like I had to leave the room at one point. He walked up and got his face right in my laptop, made like this angry grimace, and then it was pretty great. And I think if Gavin had a hammer, he would no longer have a desk. He would have destroyed his
Yeah,
desk.
it would have gone in half.
Next time we do that, make sure he has a hammer.
I didn't want to leave the room because it was too much fun watching Gavin just suffer to leave the room and actually get him a hammer. So,
The most annoying
How long did it take him to
realization-
notice it?
probably what, about 3 vibrations? I would
Well,
say.
check your phone.
First, I thought it was my phone.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that wasn't my phone. And then I had my phone in my pocket, and it went again. And at that point, I was very slyly looking around the room. I was like, do the others know that this is it? I was like looking around. And then they were calling attention to it. Like Michael would lean back and go, what was that? And I'd be like, then I went to look for a hammer.
Yeah, and then you couldn't find a hammer.
So this is awesome. So he printed out.
I think that actually might be one of the Annoyatrons reworked. I think it might be one of the things you had, like, but he tweaked it to do the vibration instead of the chirp.
It looks kind of similar, like the parts in here, but not quite. Oh God, he's crazy.
Dude,
this
yeah,
is awesome.
Ryan is an evil genius, and he printed the box on the 3D printer.
I know, that's
So,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
he printed out like it's got little columns and stuff in
Yeah,
it.
like he's
It's
done.
got little compartments where it
Oh.
holds everything. And I'm just
That's-
gonna keep
that's
talking.
cool. We
in
don't
this
need to
voice
show it or
until-
anything like that.
Okay, I'm shutting it
All
down.
right.
Thanks. I knew as soon as I put it down. There it is. All right, great.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
For those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, nothing happened. You missed
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
you missed
right
zero quality podcast.
Yeah, so we've been running that printer nonstop. Like we had some initial trouble learning how to use it, but like once we figured everything out, we've been printing a shit ton of
You know what I
stuff.
like? You printed a holder for the GoPro so you could film the printer.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I was missing one of the drawers that holds the hard drives in my Mac, and Ryan was like, "Yeah, let's just print another one."
Yeah, that blew my mind. Like we
Did it work?
have those.
I don't know
trays.
if he's done it, but
Okay.
we'll sort that out.
Yeah, so I mean, we could just do it. I mean, it's not like they're that expensive, but if you need one immediately, you don't have to worry about like ordering it or finding it or getting it shipped to you.
I have a question about starving to death.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Right? When you starve to death,
go on.
what do you die of? Like, what do you actually stop living of?
I think it is when.
Is it just you giving up?
No. When you,
No, I mean, like,
go ahead.
Okay, so say I went without food. I was through the deserts, crawling along. Eventually, I starved to death.
Right.
Say, 30 seconds before I starved to death, a dude held a sandwich. He was like, I wouldn't just die, would I? I'd be like, there's a sandwich. I'm going for it, and I'd live longer to get to the sandwich.
You know, I think you could potentially be so far gone that even if you eat, you still die.
Because your
think
stomach
so.
shrinks. Your stomach shrinks.
I just
No, really. Like in the Holocaust, like they.
Oh.
Well, this is not
Good. I'm listening.
Well, anyway, when people go a really long time without eating,
Chris Demarais, everyone.
their stomach shrinks up,
Uh-huh.
and then whenever they eat, their stomach can't handle food.
you have a
essentially.
nibble.
Yeah, you can't eat too much at once.
I'm gonna stave off death with a nibble.
But you could keep going, wouldn't you? And you would,
Yeah, you just nibble it.
I think you could have hope and survive.
You can survive on hope.
I think when you starve,
forever.
I'm thinking when you starve to death,
What if?
You
Okay,
give
so
up.
let me give you a hypothetical situation.
Gavin, I want to
So-
send you to Ethiopia and just tell everyone to hope. Just do that.
yeah, but you
So-
can't
Isn't
give
that
them
what Sally's
false hope.
brothers
So
did?
here's the
Just
thing.
keep- just
30
keep
seconds
hoping.
before death, the guy shows you the sandwich, and you're like, yes. And he's like, just kidding, and throws it away. How much longer do you live? Do you have another 30 seconds? What if he pulls out another sandwich? He's like, oh, just kidding, here you go. And then throws that away. Like,
Well, it
could you
doesn't-
live forever like
it
that?
would
Like,
work.
would your life go on indefinitely as long as he has sandwiches to show you?
What if you could just smell the sandwich? Because you get nutrition through the smell.
You waft the
Just like
sandwich
a
at
sandwich
you.
on a fishing rod.
Yeah, you're like, just a little more. I want to live.
Well, no, it would be like a thing. Like you would learn that he was screwing with you, and then you'd give up.
Well, what if you
It's
brought
the
out?
whole
What if you
thing.
brought out
Give
ice
up.
cream then? You're like, oh
I
shit,
can
that's something
bury it
new.
Well, he threw the sandwich, but maybe he won't throw the ice cream.
Right.
People are suggesting, Gavin, that if you're starving to death, just don't do it.
Yeah, just tell yourself not to, right?
Just don't starve.
That's
What it is,
Dr. Free.
Basically, what it is that you run out of the basic nutrients
But-
that run your cells, especially like your heart would go into arrhythmia. And
You
would
have
die.
adrenaline,
From what I
though.
understand, that's what starvation.
You have
how it
adrenaline to boost yourself a little bit further. So I think
you
when
would
you
think
see the
seeing a
sandwich,
sandwich gives you a boost of adrenaline.
yeah, you're like, I'm gonna live maybe for the next
I would
minute.
agree with. I would
Yeah.
agree that if
I wouldn't give up
okay,
if I
here's
could see
another
a
thing.
sandwich.
Okay,
So you can live
you're
on
dying
just-
of starvation. you're like 30 seconds from death, but you're in a plane and someone pushes you out the plane. Does the adrenaline keep you alive? Because according to you, adrenaline keeps you alive.
That's true. No, he has a good point there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
you're not gonna starve to death before you hit the ground. Are
No,
you?
I would
Yeah,
actually-
you
I would
live all the
actually-
way down.
I would actually, seriously answering your question, I think adrenaline would cause you to starve to death faster. No, I'm not
Like,
kidding.
it makes your heart
Well,
start
yeah.
going. And
And you would use up whatever few nutrients.
So
you
you'd
have
be
left.
like,
That's
oh,
why
I got-
dehydration is so dangerous. It throws off the chemical equilibrium that you have between your cells, so it can't transfer what it needs to transfer.
So you'd be crawling through the desert. You'd be like, oh, I've got about 30 seconds left. Oh, sandwich. I just kick it immediately.
Why is the whole scenario desert and sandwiches?
because
you can
I really
starve
want
to
a
death
sandwich
anywhere.
now.
Honestly,
Can we
you'd
go to
run out of
sandwich?
food in a desert.
You can starve to death in a cave.
You'd run out of water.
Well, yeah.
You started death here.
You starve to death in a swimming pool. Why does it have to be a desert?
Okay, so you've got-
Do you live in a Warner Brothers cartoon? Is that what you're doing?
So you've got 30 seconds till you die, but you're underwater and you can hold your breath for 45 seconds. Do you die of starvation or drowning?
You die of oxygen starvation at that point.
I love your questions. Did you just come up with that right now, or had you been thinking about that for a
Oh, you
while?
I actually thought about that earlier today. I was like, can hope keep you alive for an extra minute?
That's
Well,
that's a Google question.
Typically, if you say desert too, you're typically going to die of dehydration
Yeah,
way before
Chris-
you die of
Chris just said
starvation.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do hate hypothetical situations. Whoever said that, but when they're retarded and you can make fun of someone, that's a whole other deal.
Thanks.
No, I think it's a legit. I don't even think that's that hypothetical. He's asking like, what is it? What is starvation?
I guess, yeah, that's true.
And can you keep it at bay with hope?
With hope.
The answer is no.
According
Kevin.
to some romantic comedy, some romantic movie trailers I've seen, hope can keep you alive.
No, not true.
I hear it floats as well.
Hope does float.
Man, it's too bad because I saw a movie. Jack and I were talking about it before the podcast, but here we are once again potentially with spoiler stuff. It's a big pain in the ass. Can't talk about Oblivion, which we saw.
the Joseph Kaminsky movie. The guy did Tron, the new Tron movie.
Oh, is that who
Yeah.
that guy? I didn't even. I mean,
That's why, like, all the UI stuff in that movie, like all the computer stuff, is really, really cool and real sleek.
Yeah, I even forgot that Tron came out. To be honest with you, I mean, I was
They're
thinking
doing a
about that the
sequel
other
to it.
day because the Daft Punk album coming out. We were talking
21st.
about that on the Nerds podcast a bunch.
Don't spoil that one.
No,
That
I
was great.
won't. I won't. That's because we had to hold on to that after the first podcast. But talking about that, they were the soundtrack for the Tron movie, and I was thinking, man, I forgot that they even made a second Tron movie. I went and saw it and everything. Was super excited about it. That movie made no impact on me at all.
Why were you excited about a Tron movie?
Yeah.
Tron was a movie I saw when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
But
it
it's
was like,
crap.
what's that?
What?
Did you,
crap.
when did you
No.
see? When did you see the original?
Yeah,
Tron?
I mean,
Right.
when you were younger
saw
and
it
it
when
was
I was
still a
about
newer
10.
movie, it's different.
Gavin.
It's like saying Atari 2600 games are shit. Because, well, yeah,
They
of course,
are.
they look like shit now, but when you're a kid growing up playing that, that's awesome. It's formula.
I just-
Let me
disagree.
put it in perspective, if I may. Let me put it in perspective, Gavin. And this is not saying anything. This is the time that we live in. 20 years from now, if you had this, you go, what is this? This is amazing. This is revolutionary.
But it's not though.
That
It's
I can,
crap. Like,
But in 20
I
years,
don't
you're
wanna
going to be
play with
like,
that.
that's one color, and it's like, it's not even different materials. It's one material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
This is
Also-
amazing.
That
also,
did not
you can't
exist.
eat it. God.
That did not exist. We hit a button and it existed. No.
Yeah,
That's
20 years
amazing.
from now, you'll be able to add water to this and then live in it. You know? I mean, it's just the guys who made Tron. They didn't know what they were making. Like they
Yeah.
couldn't see it until they rendered it.
know,
Imagine,
yeah, it's-
imagine making one of your Let's Plays and not being able to see it until you
It's
put
a
it out.
technical marvel,
Right.
but it's not a good movie.
It's no, it was great. There was
Like,
nothing
The
else like it
original
at the time.
Tron?
Yeah.
The original Tron's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
Is Wreck-It
It
Ralph
does
a
not-
good movie?
It doesn't hold. It's all right.
It's basically the same premise as Wreck-It Ralph. It's what's the world inside a video game
Yeah,
like?
kind of.
But it was kind of. It was made by supercomputer nerds, so everything is like too much
Yeah.
about programming, and so it's not accessible to the average person.
But
But it was a good movie.
But like those old Atari games are crap, and I'm sure if I was alive at the time, I wouldn't have been interested in them because they were so crap.
Now you can look back and say the crap, but at the time, they were fun.
Yeah.
Especially like combat. Come on, two tanks, you and your friends shooting each other.
even stuff like Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombat, you play that now, it's like, oh god, this game is terrible.
I
but-
always hated Mortal Kombat. I hate those.
Oh,
fighting
congratulations.
okay,
Okay,
what-
we have the fucking video
Gavin.
game hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying I got into video games
what
when
game,
they were.
What game did you like when you were a kid? Name the games you liked.
Oh, Super Mario. Land.
Crap.
It's
What else
flat,
did you
it looks
like?
like shit.
I'm set. I don't want to do it.
What else?
No, but listen, you understand his opinion though. I do as well. I mean, Tron is a shitty movie now.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, now
I'm,
it is.
I'm just upset that he's not acknowledging our
I am,
point.
I'm just saying.
You're not acknowledging our point that
No,
it was
you're
good
not.
at the time.
I don't even think it was good at the time.
See? He refuses.
You weren't even there at the time. It
I
came out
can
in
acknowledge his
1982.
point, but he can't acknowledge mine.
It
I'm not
really,
putting
it really
up with
was
this.
6 years before you were
The
born.
movie came out in
I remember
1982.
when I was a kid, I first saw a video game that was crap, and I wasn't interested. And then a good game came out, like Super Mario Land, and I was like, this is actually good. Now I'm going to start liking games.
What was the game you saw that was crap?
I don't know,
remember?
some crappy thing with like a line and a ball or something. I don't know. It wasn't Pong. It was a bit more.
A lion and I think you said a lion and a ball. I was like, what fucking game is that?
Was it Bible Adventures?
I want to mention that this podcast, we have our first beer sponsor ever.
Yeah,
Beer.
that's amazing.
So
Delicious
our,
beer.
3 years. How long? 2 decades.
2 decades. We are our sponsor this week is Third Shift. Oh, I can
Well,
hold it up.
there you go.
You can see we're
It's
all
as big as Gus's head.
drinking it.
Might be the biggest milestone in the history of our company.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the
We
day
did it!
The day we got our first free game, and then today.
They showed up today. I don't know if you saw it when you walked in. There's like 12 crates of it over there.
Oh, it was amazing, dude. The guy walked in with how many was it? 16?
12 24 packs.
Yeah, that
And,
was a beautiful, beautiful time.
we had to hide it, so that's why it's over here in the annex now.
Yeah.
Why'd you hide it?
Because I knew if I left it in the studio, everyone would drink it. Like it would just disappear right away.
The animators are vultures. I don't know if you knew that, but anything you put on the
I
table will
literally- I was in the middle of a
vanish.
meeting. The guy showed up with the beer. I left the meeting to hide the beer. I was
That was the smart move too. You absolutely did the right thing.
I was like, I'll be back. I gotta go hide this.
excuse me, I have to hide some alcohol.
And I brought it over here. So yeah, like Burnie said, it's a huge milestone. We have officially gotten one free game and now one beer sponsor. Let's
Yeah,
see.
every 2 billion views on YouTube. Forget it. The podcast being sponsored by beer. That's the most important thing.
It is.
And the free games.
I like the logo. The logo is very Bioshocky. Like it looks like it would come come out of something of a classic game. It's pretty cool.
You know, it would have been weird. It would have been kind of weird. One of the potential names for the Day 5 script was originally Third Shift. Because it's about, everyone dying when they fall asleep. And so people who work the third shift.
Someone didn't know what third shift meant. Someone in the control room, I don't remember who it was.
I believe it.
And I had to explain to them that it's, the third shift, people who work midnight to 8 a.m.
Right. Well, I mean, it's, I think the graveyard shift is probably a more common term.
I get that.
Yeah.
Because I think third shift, I think driving with something I don't use.
Oh, a third shifter?
Yeah.
Just go from 2 to 4?
Driving with something
No, I use automatic.
No, you go from N to D.
Yeah.
Can anyone here drive a manual transmission?
Yeah.
I might be able to.
I think I could in theory. But I've never
Have you ever driven one
No,
before?
I have not.
So what makes you think you
wait,
can drive
I've
one?
heard the explanation.
Let's
No, we gotta try this. We're gonna
Let's
try
rent
this.
a fucking manual transmission
You don't
car
have to
and
learn
put
on one.
Chris in it.
Somebody here has one for sure.
No, you don't want to. You don't
go
want to let
and then-
anyone play
I
around
do.
with that.
I don't have one, so I have to.
Describe driving a manual transmission car to us.
I'm gonna put it into first gear.
Okay, you're in first gear, which is typically up.
All right.
Okay.
Now
You're
I'm
already
going
in-
to start hitting the gas.
Okay.
I'm going
What's your
for
left
it.
foot doing?
It's nothing right now.
Okay, so your
All
left foot
right,
is
now
resting.
I'm going.
Correct.
I'm going forward,
Okay.
and then I'm like hitting the max.
Okay, so your
I
engine's
hit-
revving up.
I let go of the gas to hit the shift
The shift.
or
Okay.
whatever it's the
Clutch?
Clutch. What
Yeah.
the thingy.
Don't help
on the
me.
left. And then while I'm hitting the thingy, I shift to 2,
Okay.
and then I go back to the gas.
You can't
Okay.
just.
You can't see what he's doing, but he's taking
Well, I'm like-
his left foot
Yeah.
off.
There we go. All right. Here
So
we
now I'm hitting the gas.
Don't knock over third shift.
Okay. You're
And now you go up, and whenever you hit the max, whatever, then you let go of the gas and hit the thingy on
But
the
you
left.
can't just fling off the clutch and be in that gear.
And then hold up.
So you go to third
And
now.
you go to 3, and you just keep working your way up.
To
and
what?
then
What's the top gear?
6.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And then when at a stop sign, you have to go back down to 1.
How do you go back down to 1? So
Well,
how does
I can
no,
get
wait,
up.
okay,
I
okay,
can
wait, no,
drive
wait,
one. I
let me
didn't say I
tell you.
could
So
stop one.
you're going in gear 6. You're approaching a stop sign.
Makes me
How
want
do you
to
slow down?
Break.
You brake.
All right.
Your car has turned off.
Oh yeah. Because you have to. It's like idle or something. Yeah.
Okay, you have to idle or something whenever you stop.
Yeah.
This conversation reminds me that I haven't made one of those interview videos for YouTube in a really long time.
That's true.
What was the last one that I did? Was it Kara?
Was it interview?
Kara and
it was
Kara and
either
the Guy
me or
movies
Kara.
was good.
Yeah, it was Kara.
That was the last one I did.
So we don't know what 3. We did
You know,
Chris,
they-
Kara, and Ben. Right?
These are videos that I made with Chris, Kara, and Ben. But it got to the point where everyone knew that we were making these things.
Oh, yeah.
So people started to
I
avoid
may
me.
or may not have researched some things that I knew I wasn't going to be good on.
And so we kind of had to mothball it for a little bit. But man, I can honestly say that out of all the years I've worked at Rooster Teeth, Kara made me laugh the hardest. It was a big debate whether or not to put that in. When I asked her about the time machine in Back to the Future, and I said when it goes, what is it, 500? She said it's a Camaro.
350 miles an hour.
A Camaro that goes 350 miles an hour, and then when it goes to 350 miles an hour, it goes through time. And I said, which direction? And she says, north. And I got 2 seconds of like clench, and then I must have laughed 20 minutes.
Where is that footage? I've never seen you laughing.
They wanted to put it in because I just couldn't. I was just
I think
red in
there's
the
a
face.
bit of it, right? There's
No,
a
they cut it.
No.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, we decided it was better for
I
me
wanna
to
see
always
that
look like I
footage,
never
man.
laugh.
I would love to see that raw footage, the whole damn thing. It's like about an hour of footage.
Just so
right?
everybody knows, I laughed the entire time we do that thing. It's just like, I mean,
yeah.
it's just impossible not to with Chris. And when Kara said that, I fucking lost it.
God.
That is probably the hardest I've laughed in like probably my entire life. I couldn't stop laughing. It was like the perfect answer.
If someone was going to pin you down in a question and answer thing like that, what would be your
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
I wouldn't be able to answer a goddamn thing about Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah. We used to play this game in my journal, which is where it came from. I used to make people take something that everyone has something in their life that everyone else around them knows backwards and forwards. Like Pokemon, or for me, it's another one's kind of Harry Potter. I don't know shit about Harry Potter, but it's so pervasive that you think you could like, okay, I think
figure
I
it
know
out,
what this is
yeah.
about. And so what you do is, the game in the journal was, take something you've never seen before, but you know everyone else knows about, and explain it in as much excruciating detail as you can. Like everything you know about it. Mine, you go back and just look up Pokemon in my journal on Rooster Teeth, and you'll find it's me like saying like, that you take the Pokemons, and when the Pokemon see each other, they fight the Pokemons, and then they turn into other Pokemons. It's like me trying to explain evolving and stuff like that. and people are just like laughing, and then them trying to explain stuff. Not everyone's good at it. Everyone tries to make it sound stupid. The point is like try to explain it as excruciatingly detailed as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Just incorrect details.
Gavin, what is your everything is your thing, isn't it?
I mean, probably.
All right.
History.
Monty says anime. Monty's right. I wouldn't know shit about anime at
Yeah,
all.
I've learned
I'd be
that
doomed in anime.
Akira. That's about
Yeah.
it.
People in this
Ghost in the
country.
Shell.
Oh, that's
That's it.
Something about over 9,000.
Akira.
What was yours, Gus?
I don't know, Pokemon for sure.
Oh, sports, dude.
Ooh.
I know sports.
You
No,
do?
Gus knows
Yeah.
sports. I've talked sports with Gus.
I know sports.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
I know-
did,
I know-
I've talked football with Gus for a
we did,
while,
we
actually.
did sports with Chris.
Yeah.
Gavin's would have to be. I think people would just get a kick out of Gavin doing science, but you might actually know more. You do. We did one with Brandon that didn't work.
Well, because it's
Really?
too good.
Yeah, he just knew it, and it was like it was
science.
It was science, right?
really?
Yeah, and Brandon knew enough about science. It was
Well,
back in
and
the,
there's the ones he didn't know were things were like, I don't know what the answer
Yeah.
is. It's just like.
that was the hard part about that show. It has to be stuff that the audience knows the answer to, but that the person being interviewed doesn't. That's why Ben was funny with American history, even though honestly a lot of people watching that didn't know American history.
Yeah.
But like the Guy movies in Kara was pretty much perfect because everybody knows that nerdy stuff that watches YouTube, and Kara just didn't know any of it. It was awesome. And then there was another one. Somebody suggested we do somebody who used to work here and Red versus Blue because they didn't know anything about Red versus Blue. But then we thought that just seems like they would embarrass that person.
I know we
watching our
talked
stuff.
about talking with you and dealing with all the people who work here. Like, have you named everyone's last name who works here, or like their birthdays or something like that? Like,
So
yeah, because that was right when we started ramping up hires and stuff. So
I got kind of embarrassed today, and I can't believe I'm actually going to tell this story.
do it.
Hey.
I was standing getting a glass of water at the fridge, and I was staring at the fridge. I never look at the fridge, but for some reason I looked at it today, and there was like a birth announcement on it. It was like, "Welcome, baby, to the world, from so and so and so and so and so and so." And I called Gav over, and I was like, "Who's this baby?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Who are these people? Like, are these the parents?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Who are they? Do they work here?"
Did they?
I don't know. I was too embarrassed to go and ask, and now I'm telling you on the podcast instead.
I know, right? That's always the way to do it.
So I know tomorrow someone's gonna come up to me really pissed off and be like, "That's my kid. I
Yeah.
told you about it 3
I know
months
somebody.
ago."
I know people in the company who are pregnant.
Yeah, someone's
Well,
about to have
they,
a
this
they
was-
are not themselves.
This was a
pregnant,
baby that was
right?
born in March.
Oh,
Baby was born in March.
Yeah.
who had a baby in March?
That's the question.
Oh shit.
Now we're all.
Now I'm doomed as
you're-
well.
Yeah, you're indicting all of us. He's a time traveler, though. He gets. All
I
of
am.
these.
Yeah, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
You know, there actually is a time travel component to traveling to
It's
Australia
weird, man.
because
There isn't, though.
you lose
Yeah,
a
there
day
is.
going there.
I
It
lost.
is weird to not have a day.
I flew out on a Sunday and arrived on a
But
Tuesday.
you get it back.
No, that day's gone. You
That day's
fly out
gone.
on a Sunday and you land on a Tuesday. Monday never happens
Yeah,
for you.
that Monday does not exist
You
in my
only
life.
get it. You only get a day back if you come back.
No, because I crossed the international date line on.
Also, but then
Yeah,
you
I
come
don't know how
back.
it
That
works.
Monday is gone. You
Yeah,
you don't
that day
get
is
that
gone.
Monday
Yeah.
back.
But
you
really,
get an
you just-
extended Monday, or you're gonna extend a day
So
back.
every time you go, there is a date on the calendar that you did not go through.
Yeah.
as soon as we started talking about science, a tweet came up in the feed that was just, "Oh no."
yeah, Metal Max Dog. Oh no.
That's it. That's all he had to say. All right, we're done. We won't talk about time travel.
Yeah.
People are starting to huddle, like duck and cover.
Yeah.
No,
From,
that-
from
you know, why do you disagree? No, I'm gonna
Oh, sure.
Do
Go on
it.
with
Do
this.
it. Let's talk about
What's
time
wrong?
travel.
You're shaking your head like we're idiots.
Well, you don't lose anything.
You lost
you
that.
do.
that
You
That's
day.
lose the day on the calendar.
So
Hey,
okay,
kind
Here's a
of.
question.
So
Here's
how
a
is that
wait. I have a question. So what if someone was like,
What if they had a
write me a
sandwich?
response on Monday, the 18th, and you
Then I'd
can't-
s-
no, and then you
Well, they
leave
would
on
say the time zone, wouldn't they?
no. What if someone says, hey, can you write me a response on Monday, and then you leave on a Sunday and arrive on a Tuesday? What do you do?
or here's a better one.
Well,
you
no,
fly
if I
back
land on Tuesday in Australia, it's probably Monday in America, so I'd send it then.
in. Okay, here's
He's
no,
got a point.
no, Gavin.
You
Here's,
can always write them on their Monday.
here's a better one. You get on the plane December 24th, Christmas Eve. You land December 26th. When do you celebrate Christmas?
You clearly don't give a crap about
Listen,
You're probably Jewish.
listen. You're trying to like take something and like put it in a frame of reference. You don't skip a day, you don't disappear, nothing like that happens. You don't
It's
miss
not like-
anything. You're just on a plane.
Yeah, you don't experience that day though. Like you're on a plane the entire
Okay,
day.
Yeah, the
two
dance
people
lost.
two people are born at the exact same time in different parts of the planet, and they fly all around the planet. and maybe you go to Australia and you lose a day and you miss a day. They're still the exact same age.
You made it so much worse, Gavin. You just like I was agreeing with you, and then you like basically told the plot to contact. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, what happens if your birthday is on a Monday, you leave on a Sunday, and you arrive on a Tuesday? Your birthday just doesn't exist.
Let's play a math
And
game.
you don't age.
Oh, by
You
the
don't
way,
age,
guess what I
never.
found out? Guess what I found out?
Well, before we get too far away from this, can I talk about a really fucked up story that
Go for
happened to me?
What you found out is what we're getting to after this.
Okay, so obviously the flight from I flew from Sydney to Dallas. That was my way back, right? I spent all my time in Australia, coming back from Sydney to Austin, Texas via Dallas, right?
Yep.
Which is one of the longest flights on the planet, by the way.
Wait, what's the flight?
Sydney to Dallas.
Okay.
So that's like a 15-hour flight, Sydney to Dallas.
That's not one of the longest flights.
It's one of the longest flights on the planet.
You could not possibly take a longer single flight than that.
I think Singapore to New York. Was it? There's one that's like 18 hours. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Singapore Airlines has the longest flight in the world.
Okay,
But
but anyway.
this is one of the longest flights in the world.
So I already wasn't looking forward to this flight, and
I'm not as interested. Sorry, go ahead.
So like I was sitting there and like whatever, I took my flight. About halfway through, about 7 hours into this flight, and like it's kind of the middle of the night. A lot of people are sleeping. The lights are all dim in the cabin, and they get on the intercom and they're like, "Sorry to wake you. If there are any medical practitioners on the plane, can you please let us know passengers having an issue?" It's like, what?
You're like, I can do this.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's.
I work for a company called
like-
Achievement Hunter.
Yeah, obviously,
I
but I
played
was,
Left 4 Dead a bunch.
but I was like, that's not
Played medic in
good.
Team Fortress.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, that's weird. And like, okay, so I kind of nod off again, and then I wake up a little bit later, and I'm in the back of the plane, like the back cabin of the plane. It's a 747 separated out, and I look back, and behind me, closer to the restrooms, are a lot of like the flight attendants, and a couple people are kind of surrounding an area. It's like, wow, that's
Important people.
yeah, the people like the employees are working.
president.
Yeah, and so it's like that's weird.
People who aren't Jack on the plane.
And so it's like, okay, I wonder what's going on. But no one really knew what was going on. But you'd see a lot of people doing the crane look back thing. And it's like, all right, that's probably not a good thing. And so we're about probably an hour later. And meanwhile, they're supposed to go from Sydney to Dallas. They get on the intercom, like, sorry, due to a medical emergency, we actually have to divert to LAX.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit. Okay, I guess something really important's going on.
Your stops along the way are basically LA and Honolulu, and that's it.
Yeah. And so we end up landing in LAX, and instead of pulling us into a terminal where we can actually get out and like walk around, use the restroom, and then get back on the plane, they pull us in front of a hangar, and then like they have fire trucks, EMS, everyone's pulled up next to it. It's like, God damn, all right, I don't know what's going on, but
Well, how long into the flight did they call for a medical practitioner?
about 7 hours.
So
About-
you're like over the Pacific.
Yeah, we're well
You're
over
like
the Pacific.
7 hours away from LA, or
probably
3 or
about
4 hours.
about 5 hours away from LA.
Okay.
And so I was like, that's fucked up. And so anyway, I fall asleep while we're on the ground in LAX.
We were worried.
And I woke up and we're still on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we've been there for like 3 hours at this point. Finally, about
I'm
another.
more worried about how much Jack sleeps.
No, so
You are a sleeping motherfucker.
No, well, because it was one of those things where I took off during the day there, so I wasn't really tired yet. So I watched like 5 movies in a row, and then we landed. That's when I got tired.
Then I fell into a coma. No big deal.
I was in
And
an
so,
ambulance.
I was just so worried. I was like,
So we
had
sat,
sleep.
we sat there and for like 4 hours, and then we finally took off and went to Dallas. Landed. I was in my seat for 20 hours. I got up at one point to go use the restroom, and other than that, I was in my seat for 20 hours. Which I know
you're gonna get a blood clot.
Yeah, well, I only know that because they got on the intercom. They said they're not allowed to have a flight over 20 hours. Otherwise, they have to like change everyone who's working on the plane or something. Some weird thing like that. So
right.
it was like 19 hours and like 56 minutes. It was close.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What are they gonna do in midair?
Get out! Everyone out! And
Come in
so,
jetpack.
so we land in Dallas, and I'm going through customs and stuff. And actually, it turns out there was a fan on the plane. He spotted me. He's like, "Hey, man, and, like I was on the plane. That was wild, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." He's like, "Oh, I was back there."
Yeah, I tried to talk to you 15 times, but you were sleeping every time.
All you said was,
But I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, I was in the back of the plane." I was like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, dude had a heart attack and died." Yeah, so a dude died on my plane, and we were flying with a dead guy for like 3 or 4 hours.
so if
And
someone had showed him a sandwich, would he have made it through the rest
It
of
was
the
right in front of his
flight?
face.
Just hope,
So
buddy.
the reason why we had to wait in LAX is we had to wait for the coroner to come on the plane and actually take the dead body off the plane. That's messed up.
What does the coroner do? What's his? What's
He
his
looks at a
name?
body and goes, "Yep."
Is that what he does?
Yeah, I get. It's a good question. What does a coroner do?
I guess they're trained
I
to
can
handle dead
confirm
bodies.
this dude's death. See
He's
you later.
basically the most specialized delivery man in the world,
Or
right?
he's like the worst doctor in the world. It's like all you have to do is confirm that someone's dead. You don't have to do anything to try to save them.
They probably don't even believe him. Like somebody, when he shows up at the morgue, they go, "Let me just double check." The coroner said he's dead, but
So someone's head has come off and rolled away. Do they need a coroner?
yeah.
They do?
Well, like, let me ask you this: like, if they say, like, are there medical professionals on the plane? He goes, "I'm a coroner."
Oh shit!
Does he count?
Or I'm a dentist. Like,
I
well,
don't know. He might. He's not dead, so I can't
but
do
no,
anything.
but like,
I
so,
have pain in my chest. All right, well, let's do an autopsy.
Let's get that heart out.
but Gus and I were talking about this. You were saying Singapore Airlines, they actually have a cadaver compartment,
Yeah,
right?
at Singapore Airlines on the A380s, they have a compartment for cadavers.
Well, so then
Since-
they could have kept
To
going.
ship
Yeah, they
cadavers,
could've
not
thrown-
to,
no.
like, they don't move you into the cadaver department.
if someone died, because the A380 is what Singapore Airlines uses to fly the longest routes in the
isn't
world.
that-
When someone dies on the plane, they put them in the cadaver closet.
But aren't you only a cadaver when you're being fiddled with and like
No,
science done?
when you're dead.
Science done.
When you're
No,
dead,
it's just a
you're
dead
cadaver.
body.
So corpse.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're transporting a dead body, they would put them obviously in cargo, like in a
Like in
coffin
Lo-
or some shit.
Like in Lost.
When you get to zero hope, then you cross over the cadaver.
it's like a video game.
When your hope reaches zero.
We should start having hope bars as well as health and manner.
I have no hope.
So it was kind of messed up because I'm like, I was, a little pissed off when I was sitting in LAX. Like, God damn, like, what's
I was
wrong
going
with
to say,
this
the story
guy?
doesn't seem to focus on a lot on your delay.
You're like,
Yeah, but I was like-
this is really inconvenient.
Yeah,
dead
this is like,
guy.
I want to get
missing
home.
20
Yeah,
hours.
at least you woke up.
And then it's like, oh wait, oh
I hope this
shit.
guy's bag doesn't come out before I'm gonna be. What a waste of time.
But it's
That's
like,
horrible that a guy died.
Yeah, how fucked up is that? And
He's
so,
probably like on a trip of his lifetime, going to Australia or going to America.
yeah,
And he
it's just like,
fucking died on the
fuck,
plane.
dude. I
That's just
can't-
bad timing.
Planes suck as it is. To die on a plane, Jesus Christ.
Well,
So
no, but
you had to breathe recycled
Wait,
dead air.
I have a question.
yeah,
I have a question
probably.
for you, Jack.
Yes.
Would you rather
Oh God.
die on a plane as it's taking off, have
Hypothetical.
a heart attack, or die as it's crashing an hour later?
That's a very morbid question.
Which would you prefer?
Probably the taking off part.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, whether or not, like, no matter when I die, the plane is still going to crash.
It's
though.
going to crash in an hour.
Oh, okay.
All right. Would you rather go down with the
I
plane?
would say beforehand. That way, people like, oh, like
They-
worry
they-
about
they-
you.
they worry about
and then
you, and then-
everyone's fucking dead.
Sorry,
Because
who
if
would-
everyone's going down, then
Who would
like,
prefer to die in a crash?
no, he's saying die before the
No, no.
crash.
No, he's saying die in the crash an hour later.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I think I might.
What?
I would want to go down with the crash.
You're mental. You're dying panicked.
At least
See,
it's
Chris, even if you're dead on the plane, you'll still go down with it in the crash.
Okay,
Well,
yes,
no,
what
no.
if-
I'm just saying it's like the experience.
What
Yeah,
if as
I
the plane's
like,
crashing,
how would you rather like?
there's a giant sandwich? And then the plane's like,
Right in
we
front
can
of the
do this,
plane.
and then it flies off.
Somebody runs out. Somebody runs out to the mountain with a gallon of gas and holds it up, and the plane goes, "No!"
With a big spout on the top.
I can make it.
Maybe if it hits the right angle.
I'm just thinking.
it runs down the hill.
Let's put out the landing gear just in case it hits the right angle. But I was thinking, too, it's like, I mean, that is a isolated, awful situation, being in the air over the middle of the Pacific Ocean. If I feel terrible about this guy. If he had had a heart attack 12 hours earlier or later, he probably would have survived. He's just in an awful environment where nothing can be done.
It's also one of those things. Like, I got home and I Googled about it, trying to find if anyone, like, there was no news report, nothing like that. Makes you think, how often does that happen?
I did research for another script I'm working on where it was important, and I'm gonna try to remember here. I want to say I got it down to. I want to know how many people die every day, and it was either I think it's 85,000 people die every day, and like 86,000 people are born or something like that. I looked at it. This was about a year ago. I was doing research for a script, and I was trying to figure out how many people die every day.
I think we've reached a point worldwide with population growth where we're reaching an equilibrium at that point, like you talked about, where the numbers aren't so disparate and we're not growing exponentially anymore, but rather beginning to level off.
No, we're definitely leveling off.
Yeah.
Most civilized nations now are starting to tip back below sustainability rates.
Yeah, like Japan is the famous example. They say that it's 100 years away from disappearing.
Yeah, but it can't. It would just go back up again, wouldn't it? It would just be like,
Yeah.
"What?"
How would it go?
Well, say,
Well, I mean,
say
it's
it
like-
got down to 2 people left. They would make a baby.
Yeah, and then what would that baby have sex with?
The brother.
It's like you know. I think
Jamie Lannister.
I think the equation is in order to sustain population, a married couple has to have 2.2 children.
there's only one demographic in the U.S. now that is having children above the sustainability rate. It's a Hispanic demographic.
Let's hear it.
You guys
We like to fuck.
You guys
Don't pull out.
and it's not much on average. It's like 2.2, and you guys are like 2.23 or something like that. But it's
That's all
enough.
you need.
It's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. We're doing it. Keeping it.
But you
in
can-
America.
I'm not Hispanic, but I'm like, yeah.
and Gus has no kids.
Yeah, Gus, you're not gonna have kids, right?
No.
He hates kids.
Yeah, you've got
Fucking-
how many dogs do you have? You have
2.
You have 2.1
If
dogs.
you accidentally made a kid, would you get rid of it?
Oh my God.
Wow! Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That-
put out free options.
I hate hypothetical
That's a fun,
questions.
lighthearted podcast discussion.
Oh, this could be an
just got
awkward
10 minutes-
segue for the next
We
sponsor.
just got 10 minutes of material off of a guy dying on a plane that Jack was on. I don't think we need to go any further
So
into this.
you said you recently discovered something before Jack told his story.
Oh yeah, so this was something we were just talking about, something that we were talking about, planes and all this stuff too, that made me think of it as well. But I discovered that this is something we have lorded over you for years. Guess what? I discovered that Ashley also went to math camp.
You went to math camp?
She's a graduate of. She's off screen over here, but you can't see her.
She's
but-
over there.
Yes, yeah, she went to math camp.
What kind
so-
of math?
Do we have the green screen set up? Can we get her? Can we get her on mic?
6th grade? No, that's like
Yeah.
nothing math. That's numbers
What
math.
was yours? What did you do?
Number theory, discrete mathematics, automata theory.
Where were we in college? You went to math camp?
No, I was in high school, but it was like graduate level mathematics.
How the fuck did you not graduate from college? You had such a leg up.
It was boring.
Yeah?
I didn't like, there were a number of things I didn't like about college. I didn't like being forced to take classes I wasn't interested in. I didn't like the structure that people were telling me how to learn things as opposed to actually learning them on my own. And I think those were like the 2 big driving factors. And the third one, of course, is like, I'm spending all this money and I hate these other 2 things so much. It's like, why would I just not spend the money and go out and start learning on my own and learn specifically what I want to learn?
Is that what you did?
And that's what I did.
Hey.
And I think it worked out. I don't know. I'm very disenfranchised with
How much math do you use now?
I do a good amount, but like the math I use now is nothing like math camp math.
It's like accounting math almost.
Yeah, it's like accounting, like Excel spreadsheets. That's what I do all the time.
Dude, I fucking love spreadsheets.
God.
As dorky as that is, I love spreadsheets.
Yeah,
I-
we know Gus loves fucking spreadsheets.
Yeah. What's up?
No, like the ability, like setting all the formulas and stuff, like typing in one number, like everything changes. So awesome.
It's so hot.
It's so dorky, and I
There
love
was
it.
this is maybe topic for when Joel's on the podcast, but
Well, let's not ever talk about it then.
you know when the financial meltdown happened globally in 2008, there
He
were
was right.
governments all
You mentioned Joel, I have to interrupt you.
governments all grappled with the thought of austerity, cutting back government spending, versus government throwing money at the problem.
That is correct.
And increasing spending. And there was a paper that was written very famously that people who supported austerity pointed to as like we should be following austere measures in order to fix the financial crisis.
Right?
There was a person doing a graduate level thesis on economics, and he asked for the spreadsheets that they used to write this austerity paper. And while examining the spreadsheets, he realized there were errors in their Excel formulas, that they didn't properly sum some rows. So their austerity measures were wrong. Like it totally debased the entire argument.
Wow.
And this just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Really? Well, I mean, if anything, every nation that went into austerity basically is in almost full-blown revolution at this point, right?
Yeah. Do you watch the Vice series on HBO?
No, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's really good. And this past episode I saw, they had a segment on the financial troubles and the uprising going on in Spain and Greece. It's really a good show. You should watch it. If you got HBO Go, I mean, you can watch it
I mean,
anytime.
so what's the argument? Someone like Joel's not going to make the argument that the government should spend their way out.
No,
either.
absolutely. But he will get flustered and continue to try to explain why austerity is the right way to go.
That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's true.
what I love about all. Joel is one of many doomsday economists that I know. Like to buy gold, all that stuff, and it's like you can't go too deep. You can't scratch too far below the surface because they don't really have any answers. They're just betting on the end. You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
understand what the final, like, what does he want to get out of all of that? Does he want to have money at the end?
You know, I love Joel, and he's one of my favorite people.
But
But Joel, the only time Joel will ever be happy in his life is when the asteroid has broken the atmosphere and is about to hit the planet. He'll point to go, see, I told you. And then he'll be happy, truly happy for that 10 seconds before that asteroid hits and just fucking kills
What
everyone.
if it was like he called the asteroid and it was like dinosaurs come or something else?
What if we suddenly got a new moon and it was a giant sandwich, and it pulled the asteroid away out of the orbit of the Earth?
Now my purpose for my existence is to be there within like 20 feet of Joel.
With an
so
eye
at the
shot.
very last second, I go, I remember you saying that. And then crash. Take it away at the last moment. But it's like the thing we always talk about. I still want someone to answer me. Why is gold as an item? Why?
It's rare enough.
Because it's
isn't it?
rare. It's a commodity that doesn't, like, there's
There's
only
other
so
things
much
that
of
are
it.
rare.
There are other things that are rare.
Yeah,
like
but-
somebody blasted me with stuff on the internet on comments afterwards saying, Burnie, we need gold for to build sails for like it's very important to the space program. I'm like, if the fucking economy collapses, we're not going to have a space program.
Right.
I mean,
if
What space
there's
program?
like government collapse, world falls apart, no power, you don't need to build semiconductors. You don't need gold to fucking run electricity.
yeah, my point is that we assign a non-intrinsic value to gold. We say
Yes.
that this is valuable. That's the same argument we make for paper money too. It's rare because we make it, but it's still rare because of the
Yeah, but
unique way
paper-
that
I
we
guess
make it.
I guess
Paper
the
isn't
argument
rare,
is like gold has been around for all like thousands of years and it's always had value, but paper money's a relatively like
Goats have been
new-
around longer.
Well,
And they're
that's a very good
they also
point.
replicate, but
You said that there's things rarer than gold, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
What is rarer than gold but less valuable?
Rarer than platinum.
helium.
What, platinum's not as valuable as gold?
No, with the recent run-up, gold is worth more per ounce than platinum, and platinum is way more rare.
Speaking of rare things, did you hear they just
how
found a
does it
bunch of
taste?
lithium?
You want to suck it some more? Don't fucking try to correct me. You're the fucking snarky, stuck-up little
I wasn't
son of a
correcting,
bitch.
I was questioning your...
I know what I'm talking
Statement.
about.
God damn it! I didn't take better notes. People want to know what was the story I was going to tell if you're thinking. Now I can't remember what it was when you hit. But you told your.
I love that
dying
people keep
story.
telling me to
It
shut
wasn't
up.
as good as your story about the poor guy dying. On
People keep telling me to shut up about sandwiches. You know what that means? I'm just gonna fucking talk about sandwiches
you're gonna milk
every
the sandwich.
fucking
Those delicious sandwiches.
All
right,
We had
Talk
sandwiches
about
for
internet.
lunch today. That's probably what it is.
I have a question.
Go.
You were around in the 80s, right? Hanging out?
Pretty much.
How old were you in like 88?
Hanging out.
88. I was like 15.
Right, so you experienced...
No, I wasn't that old. Yeah, right around there.
Now, the thing, well, I was born in the 80s and grew up, like my parents listened to 80s music my whole childhood and stuff like that. And it seems really awesome. Like, I like all that music and I like watching movies set in the 80s.
Like old
and
video
I'm trying
games.
to figure
Yeah, they're
out,
pretty cool.
Shut up. I'm trying to figure out, do I like that because that's what I was raised with, or were the 80s just that good?
You know, there's stuff when you talked about things like this movie is shitty or this video game is shitty when you're watching it. To me, the most obvious thing like that is fashion. Like, I can look at something that's a fashion trend right now and go, I know that's shitty. I know
Right.
that's bad.
It's
And
not-
the 80s was like that across the board. Everything in the 80s was shitty. And I knew it was not going to last. I knew it was like, this is all just like garbage. Like where people had like the wraparound sunglasses that were just like
It's
a
funny.
band.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when you talked about fashion in the 80s. That's exactly what I
Really?
pictured in my mind.
Well, there you go. Like that kind of stuff and like parachute pants and like checkered shit and
'Cause when I
new
watch-
waves.
I love that Gavin made the argument about when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, I love that kind of stuff. And that's literally what we were talking about earlier with video games in the 80s. Like, we grew up
That's
with
not
this
the
stuff.
same thing as being able to recognize
By
at
the
the
way,
moment that it's crap.
you were born in 88. You didn't grow up in
yeah,
88.
that crap carries over. Like, I'm sure my parents will listen to 80s music way into the 90s.
Well, I also had the opinion too, and I think the internet changed it, was that whatever was going on in America was not what was going on in the UK. Like
true.
our version of the 70s was not your version of the 70s.
'Cause
And
I-
it seemed to all come together like in the 2000s. Like
I
now we all
watched
have the same
Beverly
thing.
Hills
It's
Cop
the
and stuff like that.
Yeah, the internet did it, yeah.
I was watching Beverly Hills Cop, and it just looks amazing. Like, that time just looks quality.
The way you say it, Beverly Hills Cop, it makes me think of a drunk cop. The way you say Bev.
it was well bevved up.
You saw at Butnumathon, you saw Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah, I did.
But that was like a
It
late
came
night.
with a pamphlet for you to understand. The
Oh,
movie.
man, I would love to see that. I've recently been rewatching that movie.
Why?
I love it. I think it's a great movie.
Really?
Yeah, I absolutely love that
Gary
movie.
Oldman,
And David Ellis told me that it was actually there's actually a BBC miniseries about it. I guess that was produced in the 80s with Alec Guinness in it. And I'm thinking about picking that up. But yeah, Gary Oldman's in it.
I
amongst other
don't, I
people.
don't think I can ruin that movie for our audience. So I'm going to potentially say something
It's an old movie.
spoilerish about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
It's a year and a half old at this
There's a
point.
big twist in that thing where one of the guys is gay, It doesn't seem to me to be that interesting of a twist in the year 2012 was when it came out. That was not that interesting a twist to like justify a major moment in a major motion picture.
But it was, I think it was supposed to be in the backdrop that it was. It's a movie that takes place, decades ago.
I get that. You do lose some things though. Like if you're watching a movie from the 20s and somebody...
You're clear. You're fine.
Yeah. If you're watching a movie from the 20s and somebody doesn't go to church,
Yeah.
that would not be...
Yeah.
You can't, you can't like suspend like when you're watching the movie.
I mean, and that was a moment in the movie, but I don't feel like it was like a super huge moment. But whatever.
I do. I feel like it was a major turning point in the movie.
Did you hear about the basketball player who came out today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something Collins, Josh Collins,
Yeah,
John
I didn't
Collins.
know
Is he a
who that
current
is.
basketball player or former
He's
basketball
current.
player?
He's playing for the Wizards right now.
Okay.
He's the first person to come out that on a major sports team, like any of the four majors, NHL, NBA.
Who is still playing?
He's still playing.
Really?
Yeah. The first person
That
to come
doesn't
out.
happen more often.
How's that not happening?
No.
Yeah.
It just never happened in any team sport. Like I mean, plenty of like tennis players and like golfers and stuff, but that's all individual. But as far as the team sport goes, he's the first person to ever come out as a homosexual playing a team sport. That's pretty crazy. It's kind of sad. Like, it's 2012, and that's the first person.
It's 2013.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck!
He went to Australia.
Yeah, I'm in Australia right now. It's still 2012 there.
Jack just woke
Jesus
up from
Christ.
a nap. A 4-month nap.
This isn't. I didn't park my car here.
12 million people are dead because Jack went to sleep. Yeah, it does seem weird. It does seem weird that the public events for gay rights essentially are seem to be way behind public opinion.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Ellen came out, she was like the first major entertainment star to come out as gay.
Yeah.
She was like at the cover of magazines, and by that point it was like, I mean, we'd been through Liberace and everything.
But Liberace, when he was alive,
I know.
sued people who claimed he was homosexual.
Right.
Like, and won libel suits against papers who claimed that, despite the fact he really was, which seems like he should have to give that money back.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
right.
Armstrong's
Lance
going through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armstrong got sued people and won for libel suits, and then he admits that he.
I think the Postal Service is suing him for sponsorship money for
Dude,
the
we
Tour
could
de
get
France.
something there. I do not understand how the Postal Service. Are they a government? How is a government agency sponsoring
No,
a
it's
sports
like
team?
a pseudo-government agency. It's
What
like
the fuck is that? I want that status for us.
it's like an agency that the government pays for, but it's not a government agency. It's like
Basically,
a private sector company that the government supports.
Wow, that is the worst example of private sector and government-run stuff. I mean, it's like which part of that makes the post office so shitty?
Yeah, they lose like several $1 million a day
So
just by being.
But I'm not being jaded here,
existing.
right? I'm not being jaded. I mean, because
No,
the
they suck.
Postal Service, they do deliver mail from everybody's home to everybody else's, theoretically, home. I'm so happy I finally moved into a house. This is the first house I've ever owned in my entire life where the mailbox is on the house.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like every house I've ever lived in before this,
You have like a box.
because they're newer houses, I have to
But
walk to part
why
of
is
the
that?
neighborhood.
Why did that happen differently in America than it did in Europe?
Cars.
Because they could get away with it. Yeah, because
So everyone's mail is outside and anyone can take it.
what does that mean?
Oh, he's talking about mail slots. Everyone.
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
about
He's
the
saying
mail
so-
I'm not even
walk
talking
up
about
and
mail
pull 'em.
slots. You can't in like a lot of suburban neighborhoods now, the newer ones, the mail doesn't come to your house. It comes to like a mail center, almost like an apartment complex where they have mailboxes and everyone goes to their locked mailbox and gets it out.
So what's wrong with people just putting it through your door like everywhere else?
Well, I
it
think
just lands in the
You can do
hallway?
that here.
Yeah?
Sure.
Is that common?
I don't think it's that
Well, it
common.
depends on the neighborhood. Like my neighborhood has one of those mailboxes. There's literally 40 mailboxes side by side.
But I'm
Well,
saying,
I was
this is
amazed.
the first time I lived in a house where the mail comes all the way
Yeah.
to my house.
Right.
It doesn't just come to my neighborhood and I have to go pick it up.
Okay.
Which is it shouldn't be weird, but that's weird apparently now.
Sweet. Yeah, I've got my mailbox is like right by my door, so I can just open it and like reach out and grab it. Be totally naked.
I was
I
amazed.
bet I know.
I don't think being naked would stop you from going to the actual mail center and getting one either.
Are you
often
are you like get home and off go everything?
No, Esther hates that.
Oh, she hates that?
Yeah.
I would hate that
I
too
used
if
to be
lived
like
with you.
that.
What, if you've got all your kit off?
Yeah, I wear underwear now.
What's wrong with your tackle?
What do you what's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it.
She doesn't like to see it though.
She thinks it's dirty. Like if I sit on the couch with my ass, like rubbing it all over the place, and I'll give her that point. I've got a dirty ass, so maybe it's for the
Well, you
best
just
that I
said
wear
you never
underwear.
shave it.
No, I don't shave it.
Are you?
Wait,
are
wait,
you-
wait, do you shave your ass?
You shave your ass?
Not my actual ass.
No,
but
no,
I
that-
trim like I'm talking about like just your whole
No, I'm
region.
talking ass, like.
Like
Oh,
your
great.
asshole.
Let's
Yeah.
start this conversation again. Now I get to call you guys freaks. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, so Gavin, what do you shave down there?
Forest.
How far does your forest extend?
The front, why don't like just to around the underneath of the balls?
Just is it a very controlled area, or are there like protesters? You're going so far with the deforestation. Are there like owls that have gone extinct?
I'll put it like this.
Do you have an electric razor, or is this all like?
No, yeah, this is like a. But I'll only do what I can see.
Like a what?
I'll only.
See no evil, or what is it? See no evil, be no evil, or whatever.
So you're from front, you go all the way around the back?
No, I only do what I can see. I can't see like my gooch, so I'm not gonna go around there.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to accidentally like catch the corner of my arsehole or something.
Ugh.
All right, we're done. Let's get on this
Yeah,
conversation.
Jesus Christ.
We all need a card every podcast, like an eject, like maybe
It's
once
a
a month.
parachute. Just
We
pull
should
it.
keep an envelope with a new topic in the table there.
I love that idea.
What's that?
I love that idea.
And then when we get to this, we're like, all right, let's pull out the envelope,
Yeah.
and then like new topic. Here
Get
it is.
away.
We just
Run,
all
run, run,
raise our
run.
hand, and if we get a majority, just like when someone's talking, we all raise our hand.
Big
we
red
clap
button to
together.
hit, and a little thing pops
We'll
up.
do that.
Who-
But
who's
next
gonna
week
make
we'll
the
have a new
topics?
topic. We'll have new emergency topics in there.
Okay, I want to know something right now.
Got it.
How, you know, when you don't hear someone say something, but then you pretend like it's okay.
Nope.
Like you just kind of go over it, but then you realize that it's important.
Apparently, I do that with you all the time. Apparently.
Well, okay, for example, the other day, I guess at some point last week, I scheduled a call with some company and who wanted to discuss.
Cool or a call?
Shut
Call,
up.
go.
And they wanted to discuss some collaboration or something slow-mo related. And I forgot I scheduled this call. So all of a sudden, this company calls me, and I was like, oh, I scheduled a call with someone. So I quickly took the call and walked outside, and as I opened the door, the wind blew in my ear, and he was like, hi, this is from, and he was like, I missed who he was and where he was calling from. So I had to have the entire conversation with this dude without knowing who he was or what company he was with.
Why didn't you just say? Well,
Oh, I
say
just
that
felt
again?
like too
You
much
couldn't be
time had
bothered to
passed.
ask.
I felt like too much time had passed.
He
for
was
me to
probably
say-
flustered because he forgot the call too.
Yeah,
So,
so like we're
he was
like
already
30
behind.
seconds in, and I realized it's important who these people are. It's important that I know because I can't continue the call. And then the more I was thinking about this, the more time was passing to the point where it was impossible for me to ask because he'd gone on too long. I was like, I couldn't say, who are you and where do you work? So yeah, I had like an 8-minute business call. I don't know who with. And
Did you
then
take the job? I'm serious. Did you take it?
No, they're gonna email me.
How will you know it's the email?
You're now gonna get 50,000 emails saying I spoke to you on the phone last week.
Yeah.
Come to my house and shoot slow mo.
Nah, you can tell a professional email from a crappy one.
No, I can fake it pretty easily.
I'm going to read this here. I want to remind everyone that this podcast is also brought to you by, and
Mother's Day
it's
is
a great
close.
service.
You know what I like?
Mother's Day is May 12th.
Earlier,
Wow, it's like 2 weeks.
Gavin was talking about like Mother's Day and how he like you don't get anything for your mom, right?
Oh, it's hard now because she's
don't do
5,000
it.
miles away.
Well,
No, here you go.
there you go.
It's also difficult because it was
So-
in March.
So when we first got approached for doing a Pro Flower sponsorship, I thought that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would we do this? And then they said, well, Mother's Day's coming up. Maybe a lot of your viewers need to buy flowers for their mothers. It's like, oh wait, no, this makes total sense.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is the perfect sponsorship for our
everyone's
audience.
forgotten.
So if you've forgotten, go to proflowers.com.
No, because you talked about the package, the package deal or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally buying that for my mom.
Yeah, like I was like, this is a great
Yeah.
deal. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go to my
Yeah,
computer
yeah.
and order it right now. Because like a lot of, well, yeah, you absolutely should get something for your mom. We've all done awful, embarrassing things to them. Just buy them some flowers. and some
Some in the last
chocolate.
hour and a half.
What's
Yeah,
the worst thing?
buy our mom's flowers, please.
Yeah.
What's the thing you got in trouble for most when you were a kid, Gavin?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're a good kid, really?
Yeah.
I was a pretty good kid too. My brother.
made
growing
napalm.
up- My brother was an asshole. I did make napalm. That made my mom cry for a long time.
Oh, I was a good kid. Oh, I did make napalm that
Yeah,
one time.
I did do that.
You know what
did.
I had a tendency to do? I would have a tendency where I'd get assigned these big like science projects, like, and you'd have to work on them for weeks. And then like the night before it was due at like 10 p.m., I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got this thing due tomorrow. I'm gonna need some stuff.
You know, science projects are just made by parents, right? I mean, that's
Pretty much.
Since all those like long-term take-home projects, those are all made by the parents.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I shouldn't throw my kids under the bus, but yeah. Let's just say we've gotten some good grades as a collective group for school projects.
Your
Yeah.
GPA is doing okay right now?
My dad would tell me, we made a nucleus that was like, there was no way a kid made this.
What do you mean you made a nucleus?
We made it like an atom. I think my atom was
What do you mean?
chlorine. It was like we had to make a model of it. You didn't do that in
Oh, a
school?
model. Yeah.
No, I made a fucking atom because I'm a god. What the fuck is wrong with
Bernie
you?
Burns' atom smasher grabs some protons and some neutrons and
I've created life. there was no way my teacher thought that I made this fucking thing. There's no way. It's impossible. And so when I see half the projects too, like when they have pumpkin carving contests at school, these kids are fucking, at my kids' school, there's no way this kid did that. Give me a break.
The kid eats paste.
I know, right? I look at these other kids. There's no way. So
I fucking hated, when I was a kid, I hated those long-term projects. I would never do them. I don't know what it was. It was like, when I would get assigned the project, it was like the due date is forever in the future. And then as it would get closer, it would be like, I don't want to do this. And then the night before, it was like, okay, I have to do it. And then it was like, I have to compress like 4 weeks of work into one night.
You know what? I did everything like that, though. Honestly, in English class, I don't think I read a book they assigned us after freshman year. Because I was a big reader. I read whatever I wanted to. I just didn't read the books they gave us, like Brave New World.
I once, for a reading test,
I just listened to what the teacher said about it and then wrote that.
There were 4 books we were supposed to read. I read 3 of them. I made the best grade on the one I didn't read.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably paid closer attention.
Okay.
Scarlet Letter was the first one I remember I didn't read, and then All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah.
Iliad and the Odyssey. I was
But you
like,
don't have to reference lines in the book or anything when you write the essay.
I don't really remember what they did. Yeah, and I could always just like flip through the book
Do you know,
and
I'm
find
so
stuff.
glad I don't have to do school anymore.
Man,
It sounds the worst.
Hey, I just
Going
want to
back
point
to
out
that.
something, though. I don't know if this is like gaming the system with one of our sponsors, but it says the first available date for delivery is April 30th for these things. So you can use the code today. You could buy flowers for anybody.
Yeah, for anybody.
Yeah, that you want.
Yeah.
19 bucks for a dozen roses is really good.
It's a good deal.
Maybe I should get some for
What
Ray.
did Billy used to give you?
You should get some for
We should
Ray.
order some for Ray right now.
I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Rainbow roses. So I don't know if you noticed the house that I bought. I don't want to make any assumptions, but I bought the 2 guys that own my house before me. They lived together, and I think they owned a salon together.
Okay.
And
What are you trying to say?
the hot tub works on a remote control. I'm not assuming anything. I'm not assuming anything.
What are you trying to say?
But and it's very well.
It's very well decorated.
Yes, everything, all like the little accessories are
Yeah.
fantastic. And so I couldn't appreciate it more. One of the things they have is we have a bunch of bushes in the front yard. And there's no lawn, which I fucking love. It's like zero-scaped. But I just found out recently, I didn't know this because I bought the house in the winter. Spring rolls around, all the bushes in the front yards, roses. And they started springing roses.
That's cool.
So I'll be out in the front yard with Joe, the cat, and people walking by, and they're like, I love your roses. And I'm like, thanks. I didn't do anything. It's like these beautiful rose bushes
This is
in
my
the front
cat.
yard.
How are you doing?
You just inherited them.
Yeah. So I'm there in the front yard with my cat. tending
You
to my
need a
rose.
pipe. You got to be like in a smoking jacket and
Yeah.
a pipe with Joe the cat.
maroon
You're
smoking
like,
jacket.
yeah, this is my cat. These are my roses. You're welcome.
Welcome to my house.
And I just give away. I just literally would give people roses as they go by if they say something about them. I don't care. So I have all these. If you want a rose,
What's the proper etiquette? Is that okay? Can you give people roses?
I think so.
Strangers?
I think
What
so.
color roses?
That's
What
fine.
would you say if you met,
They red
you met a
roses?
stranger and he handed you a rose?
I don't know. I
I'm
was
sure
just.
someone would
Would you
find a way
be
to
more
sue
inclined to like?
Where would I be meeting this stranger?
By the way, I did a quick survey. Your thing about walking up to somebody and saying, "I curse your baby," everybody would punch you.
What?
Everybody.
I didn't do it.
Oh, I forgot
do
about
it.
that. I
Wait, what?
forgot about that.
Chris talked about running up to people that he doesn't know on the street with children and yelling, "I curse your baby."
What was this in again?
Jesus
don't know.
Christ.
It was okay.
Why would
so
you do that?
I didn't. All right, first of all, so we were walking up to get food. I think it was me and Carrie and Miles.
Okay.
And I saw a pregnant lady and a husband, and they were walking. And I was like, and I don't know. I thought like, what would be an inappropriate thing to say to them? And you'd be like, I curse your child. And the thing is they would look at you weird. But then if their kid, their kid was like a shitty kid, they'd always wonder, was it that guy who ran up to me at the parking lot of the restaurant and cursed him? Like they would always wonder if was that it, right?
Oh
You would
my
get
God.
killed. Someone would kill you.
Someone would punch. Everybody would punch you. We were talking about what are punchable offenses.
That would be punchable. Yeah.
That would totally be a punchable offense.
Yeah.
Like someone
you're a
you
sick
didn't know.
bastard.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
So,
we thought about it though.
speaking of Chris in social situations, did you go to Eeyore's birthday this weekend?
Oh, is that what you did?
Why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when in college, I lived in West Campus, and so we would just like drink and then wander over and walk around and just watch people. It's like it's crazy. The people.
Like on Saturday, I was driving up Lamar and I was like, what the fuck is going on with this traffic? And then I saw a bunch of hippies walking down the street and I was like, oh, it's fucking Eeyore's birthday.
It's insane, man.
I've never seen so many. What are those bikes called when you like lay back recumbent bikes? or something?
Recumbent bike.
Oh, you know what's worse
I've
than
never
that?
seen so many of those fucking
What the
bikes in
hell
my
is
life.
Eeyore's birthday?
Eeyore is
an
a
excuse to smoke
character
pot in
in
public.
Winnie the Pooh.
I know what is that to do with Austin?
Oh, they just hold the celebration for his birthday because he's sad. So they hold a celebration here. I think
They're
that's why
gonna
they
have
do
Joel
it.
Heyman's birthday coming up starting next year. Yeah,
No,
that-
but it's like, I mean, it's like you walk around. It's like half the people are naked. There's people
Yeah.
with snakes. It's just
what?
like,
Are the girls naked?
yeah,
Are they?
it depends. But I mean, it's just like you walk around. It's just entertaining, you know. There's people doing yoga upside down, holding up other people while doing the yoga.
yeah.
While doing the yoga.
Yeah, you know.
Are they teaching people how to drive manual transmissions?
You know who does? You know who does a lot of that? I don't know if she does it Eeyores or in various states of clothing. Is she was on? She was in an episode of Immersion. Her name is escaping me right now. Brianna, is that her name? She was in the Fighting Girl.
I
clothing
don't
line?
know who those girls were.
You know her. She was also in Pajama Achievements a couple different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does all the acrobatic stuff. Like,
What's her
she's
name,
like-
Gavin?
What's her name?
Yeah, you got it.
I got it, Brianna,
I
right?
think that was it.
Yeah. Look at you, just dodging.
You had no idea what he said.
Yeah, she does all that stuff.
No, the girl from Immersion. It was also in Pajama Achievements.
Which
Good,
girl
thanks.
in immersion was
What's
it?
her name?
Brianna. Why? What are you saying?
I think that's who it was.
You
She
trying to
does-
test if I'm listening?
She does all that stuff.
I'm
All right,
listening.
So if I
Come
order
here.
flowers for Ray tomorrow, I can't get this. They told me this vase was free, and I'm trying to get. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's when you put the code in, it's the first two in the upper left.
Yeah, got it. Yep. And the little microphone you're talking about is like if you saw us on radio or TV.
Right.
So I'm gonna send Ray some roses.
You know when a dude spits on a dude?
What?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. We've all been there.
Okay, so the whole
Sometimes you have to pay
I imagine
extra.
when two dudes get into a fight, if you know the fight's gonna happen, you'd punch. That'd be the first thing you do. But some dudes spit. But then you're definitely gonna get punched if you got them in someone's face.
So I feel like if you spit, that's a sucker move. If you
Yeah.
spit, you
I-
know
alright.
you're gonna get hit.
I have a question. No, I have a question. I have a question.
That's a sucker move.
And you're gonna get hit immediately, and you're open because you're like doing this.
And you're gonna get hit harder.
it's like, yeah.
Getting spit on is way worse.
You gotta
than
follow
getting
spit with a
I have,
punch.
I have a question.
If a
I have
guy
question.
gobbed
Okay.
on me.
So in high school, I had a friend. We were out hanging out. I had goats at my house. We
course.
just had pet goats. All right.
Yeah.
So my
Obviously.
friend,
They were only there for the day. They were visiting.
all right.
Visiting goats.
My friend stepped in goat poop. All right.
Okay.
And then he took it and then he wiped it on me.
Oh my god.
All right.
A punchable offense.
No. Or
Punchable
is it a spittable offense? Because
No,
that's what.
I think spitting and punching is the same thing, but spitting is a sucker move.
Well, I mean,
Well, all right,
You've
well-
now got some sort of bodily. It may not be a human body, but you've got like gack
Yeah,
on
You
you.
yeah.
spit on the goat.
And so my response is, you just wipe poop on me, so I spit on him. Right? Now, his argument was the spit was worse, but I was like, but it was in retaliation.
Yeah,
I know,
the
but-
poop is way worse.
Poop is
No,
way
I
worse.
disagree
Yeah.
because human anything is way worse than animal
Well, see,
poop.
I might
No.
agree with that.
No.
But-
No, so why would you like? That wasn't Chris's fault. This guy stepped
So
in the
if-
goat.
so if I
Yeah,
force
that's
you-
the
if I
thing is,
force
I
you to
didn't
eat-
do anything.
Right.
I just got goat poop.
So if
on
I
me. He's
force
like,
you-
it was your goat.
No, but
But I was like, well, it's
it was your lack of attention.
yeah.
So Gavin, you're saying you would rather eat a pile of shit from a goat
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't rather
or
do that.
spit from someone, a human being?
No, he didn't wipe it in my mouth.
No, oh, there we go. We're gonna make Gavin throw up here. You just said literally that's the same level. So spit, like when you kiss a girl, you know your lips touch and you're trading spit.
Even so, it doesn't really count because
you're
when you're
saying
making
that's the
out,
same level as shit from an animal.
when you're making out with
That's
a guy,
what
it's
you're
just kind
saying
of
right
like
now.
touching. You're not like eating a cup of.
No, continue. What was that? Eating a cup of spit or shit? Which
You're
one
not
are you talking?
drinking a
Oh,
cup
Jesus.
Like just like warm spit? Is that what you're trying to say,
I've
Gavin?
not got a bucket, guys.
Like,
Oh, there's no bucket. His bucket's not here.
oh god, you supposed to have a bucket?
Yeah,
Wait,
we
so
know.
like warm spit, like real gooey, so that viscous,
stop.
where
His
like
bucket's not here.
it
His bucket's not
stretches
here.
and like
Abort.
like
Stop,
you
stop,
take
stop.
some, it's like oh, there's a little string from the cup
It's
to
over
your
there.
mouth.
It's over there.
Like
What if
you're
it was
saying
microwaved?
that. That's not nearly as you're saying like warm shit isn't as bad
Stop! What are you doing?
as gooey spit out of someone's mouth.
Stop. Let's not make him vomit.
Why not?
Oh, God.
I've been on the podcast for like 4 months. I want to make
we
Gavin
have-
throw
Human
up.
stuff is gross. If I was jizzed on by a horse, it'd be gross. If a human jizzed on me, I would be
I
livid.
agree with that.
Good lord.
Can you get an STD from a horse jizzing on you?
Once again, the code for Mother's Day flowers is Teeth. That's T-E-E.
Well, this is why you have to
TH.
apologize.
Top
my
5
mother,
podcast.
my mother had to deal with this for 18
Top
years.
5 podcast.
She had to deal with me, you know. Your mothers all had to deal with you too. You owe them something.
No, we skipped. What was the worst trouble you gotten with? For
Oh,
a
I said
kid?
I used to always like do those science projects late. And, like,
That's
make
what
her-
you get in trouble for?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
All right, Gus, I know you hate me, but I've been enjoying our sponsor a little bit too much. I'm going to use Little Boy's room real quick.
Oh.
I know. It's terrible, I know, but I've got
You
have the biggest bladder here.
20-hour flight. You went to the bathroom once. You went once.
Go to sleep, Jack. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Quick, one of us
Wake up
die.
and then-
delicious alcohol.
What
the
if
whole
someone
time.
showed him a picture of a urinal with the hope keep him from peeing?
No, that made me want to pee even more. All right, I'll be back.
That's reverse hope.
Reverse hope. I'm trying to think of other things I got in trouble for. I don't know. I feel like I didn't get in trouble that much as a
You
kid.
lived out in the middle of nowhere. You lived on the Mexican border. I mean, did you ever
Yeah.
like go into Mexico and cause any trouble?
Yeah, but she never found out about that.
You just
All right.
strolled into Mexico.
Yeah, but like back then, you know, you didn't even need to show like proof of residency.
Nope.
Like you would literally go. We'd walk from the U.S. side to the Mexico side. You would pay 25 cents. Then you'd be in Mexico. You'd get drunk as shit. Then you'd stumble back.
Literally no drinking age.
Yeah.
No drinking age.
If you could order it, you could drink it. Come back, pay like another 25 cents. And at the border on the U.S. side, they'd be like, "Are you an American citizen?" You're like, "Yes." Okay, come on in.
you're Mexican, and they didn't have any.
I'm an American citizen.
Well, I know. I'm not saying you, but I'm okay.
Yeah, everyone in that town is of Mexican descent.
Okay.
Like literally, that town's demographics is like 98.5% Hispanic.
So you didn't have to have your passport. You could just say,
No.
you could just say, oh yeah.
You didn't need anything.
So, okay. And when was that? What year was that?
I mean, I left there in '96. They didn't enforce the passport rule till
It also
2001.
didn't seem to matter. When I was like in high school, went down there for spring break, and we went across from South Padre Island is right by Brownsville, Texas, which is right across from Matamoros, Mexico. So we'd always go across the border. And he's right. You needed 25 cents to come back and forth across the border. You needed a quarter.
Yeah, you would
and you
carry
had to
that
remember
change.
that. You had to remember that. And we actually we actually had a problem. I actually talked a little bit about the story. I was working on a Daisy Let's Play. The Daisy Let's Play we tried to do last week actually turned into me trying to install fucking Daisy.
I wish I had been filming you.
I was
you
so goddamn angry.
You were so angry.
I made a Let's Play out of it, of me trying to do it. So it's like I'm in the process of editing it right now. But I'm telling
Oh,
you
you
a story
did?
about being in Mexico and like,
I was really excited to do that.
we'll still do it, but the first part of it's gonna be fucking installing the game.
'Cause I came
on
up to-
4 laptops.
I've got these things set up over here so we can do. I've got a couple of games in mind ready to go.
Let's do it.
So,
are we gonna do it? This week or something?
Well, you're gonna be out of town, but when you come back, we'll
Well, I won't necessarily be out of town
we'll do it.
because but
Oh.
I won't be here. So
You won't be here. Wink.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll. I mean, we're good to go. So we'll be able to start recording our own Let's Plays here. Yeah, I've got a couple of 360 games and a PC game lined up that I want us to play. I don't have the PC game set up yet, but it's gonna be fun.
How's the so talk a little bit about how the Let's Play channel's doing, guys. You guys are
Let's Play channel is kicking ass.
killing it,
The
right?
good thing is, like, we were worried that moving everything to a new channel, we'd worried there'd be a couple of weeks of a dip in views, but it just didn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
everyone followed over, which is great. It's like
Yeah.
it's all we could ask for, basically.
Yeah, our 2 Minecraft Let's Plays are both over 1 million so far.
Have you
which is
spoken about your
amazing.
So
your
you're
panel?
at 714,000 subscribers. I can't close that.
Well, MySpace is advertising YouTube. That's a sign of the times.
No, they're doing great right now. Like the views are pretty much where we were hoping they would be at after about a month or so. And they're already up to that point after 2 weeks.
So when you were in Australia, you got to give the audience of your panel a little tour of Achievement
Yeah,
City,
that was
right?
pretty cool. Like, so for the first time ever, the people who came to the Supernova panels at Melbourne and in Gold Coast, I got to connect to Xbox Live and join Jeff in Achievement City. So I actually got to fly around Achievement City while I was getting...
You actually showed off my
Oh,
Chamber
yeah.
of Victory before anyone saw
Yeah,
it.
we gave away a couple secrets there. It was pretty cool. Actually, at one point, I think in Melbourne, the second day I was in Melbourne, like a girl, she was like, "Oh, I'd like to see Achievement City." I'm like, "All right, cool, come here." So she got up on stage and she was controlling everything. So,
So
she
she's
was
now the
flying
only
around.
person who's not us to go around.
Yeah, yeah,
Achievement City.
the only
Except for maybe Kerbal Gunners.
fucking Gervais Gunners. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. Those panels are great, man. Like the fans are really, really passionate.
I was
It a lot of
amazed
fun.
because I watched some of the videos, someone put it on Reddit, and I was amazed at how well people know that virtual space that they've never set foot in.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's weird. Like
people
I
knew
got
that when you
lost.
walked through the painting in my house, you could see people were like surprised it was there.
Yeah.
Even though they've never been in that game, in that room.
Yeah. But even
crazy
then,
to
like
me.
even saying that, like I was like, oh shit, like where's Dan the man? Like, oh, just keep going that way. Like they knew the geography better than I did the whole damn time. So we talked about actually making a map of Achievement City and selling it. Like a fan actually made a proper map.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Like a
Well, people always ask for the
style.
seed for it constantly.
Yeah,
well,
we
it
would-
exists out. It's out there now.
I would imagine that you guys
we've
get asked all the time
actually-
because I get asked
Well,
about
the
it.
thing about that, though, is I don't think people can recreate it because it was a seed that was made with an earlier version
That's
of
exactly the
Minecraft.
thing.
You can actually pull out all of the new updates.
You can't.
Yeah, you can.
can't.
Someone did it recently.
Yeah, you
actually.
can you can delete that.
Yeah,
that
someone
cache
you can
data.
go through and delete the
I
cache.
deleted every
But-
patch except it only went back to the previous version and go
The
all
thing
the
is,
way back to the
was
beginning.
Achievement City seeded with the original 1.0 release of
Yes.
Minecraft, or was it like an incremental one?
I think it was,
1.0.
but someone recently found the seed.
The seed's been out there for like
Yeah, it's
half
out
a
there for a
year
long
at this
time,
point.
yeah.
But I
But
think
you can't do it. It won't generate.
You can find it on
any-
the PC though. Like
Yeah,
you
I
can,
do it
you
on
can
the
definitely know
PC.
the PC. But no, someone because we launched a video not too long ago where we had the actual seed number in there. Someone figured it out, or someone saw it.
People keep rediscovering it, but that was actually first shown in like episode 10 or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's asking where the podcast Let's Play would be uploaded, and of course it would be uploaded to the Let's Play channel.
Yes,
Play
somebody
channel.
also posted a link to. There's a PC recreation of Achievement City also on the roosterteeth.com forums.
Yeah.
It's stored off.
That might be the weirdest thing ever. Is like people have remade Achievement City and the different things we've done in Achievement City on other platforms, and it's just really strange. Is like it feels foreign when you see other people walking around.
And some of the
Could
stuff-
Ryan make a
houses and
3D
stuff.
print of it, like a miniature Achievement City?
Apparently,
it
that's
can
the
be
thing
done.
you can do. You can actually, if you have a PC version of it, you can actually make you can print out a city
That'd be cool.
from Achievement from Minecraft.
I always feel sorry about the people who recreate it block for block though, because a lot of the stuff we did is just so random at the time, like the artwork. Like when I was
God.
doing my room, I'd just be like, and it's random what you get, but someone has to go there and like
Yeah.
keep doing it over and over again until they get the right one, and then be like, all right, now this block. And
No,
it's just- for
well,
me,
there's-
it took 10 seconds, but for them, it
Real
takes
quick, what's
so
the code for profilers that we have?
Teeth. Teeth.
Yeah, there was someone who even went through and like recreated the chests, like Ryan's house. Like he lives in the Kung Fu house. Someone went through and recreated all of the stuff in the chest in the exact same spots.
Wow.
It's like why? like what would why?
So hopefully you'll be able to show it off at RTX as well.
Yeah.
To people.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to do something where you can kind of get a tour through Achievement City, but
All right, I just sent Ray
Yeah.
some flowers.
it was kind of fun. It was nice to actually pop into Achievement City and see my giant statue of myself, which I didn't know existed until I got into the city, because the boys made a life-size model of my character, or not a super-sized
With a
model of my
functioning
character
penis.
with a functioning penis that pees water onto my house.
So
Pretty wonderful.
And they made that for you for your demonstration?
Well, they made it because Gavin loves burning my house. Anytime I win the Tower of Pimps, Gavin lights my house on fire. And so they made it where, if my house catches fire, I can turn it out. So I can hit a switch and I pee on my house.
We made a very conscious decision when we built Achievement City to make your houses out of wood and our houses were out of stone.
That is true. Although, yeah, Gavin's sad Chamber of Victory.
I always tip lava on it.
Lava.
Lava?
Lava. That's why he says lava. With an R.
It's not, only when there's a word after it.
Say lava.
A lava bucket.
Say lava,
Lava
cake.
bucket.
Say lava cake.
If there's
Say lava cake.
lava cake.
Larva cake?
I didn't say that.
Say lava cake.
Lava cake.
larva
lava.
cake.
All right, we got this.
Yeah.
Cool.
We covered it.
Call
fully.
or cool?
So he talks different than us.
It only took everyone.
Welcome to 3 years
3
ago. We discovered that. He has different words for things.
So we have I was talking about RTX. We have a couple of new exhibitors signed up I want to mention here. So we
Hell
have
yeah.
Game Wisp, who are guys that we met at PAX East, Burnie. Those are the guys doing the synchronized saves across
Yeah.
PC gaming.
He's a graduate student, I think.
Yeah.
And he was working on a super cloud, basically, for save games across all different games.
So for the PC platform, which is pretty cool. Iron Gaming, DOS keyboard, which you didn't get to see this. It's a really cool keyboard. It's a callback to the old mechanical IBM keyboards that have that really satisfying click.
Oh, yeah.
But they're updated for USB. And
Oh,
you can use them on modern
that's
computers.
cool.
I have a Razer keyboard that I got for upstairs when I plug in my laptop, and it's got close to that, but not like the click, 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 click
Yeah,
like
no, this
that.
is like that old school style.
But it has a really cool tactile feel. That's a big part of a keyboard. is
I
how it
feel like I
feels.
can type faster when I have a keyboard like that.
Yeah?
It's more satisfying.
Yeah.
Because you hear it.
And of course, the 405th, Griffball Hub, and Geeks Who Drink are coming back, doing some more stuff. We're still scheduling. We're still planning out our panels. We're hoping to do multiple nights of Geeks Who Drink. So fingers crossed, we might be able to pull that off.
We did that event last year. That was a lot of fun. Man. That was a real good time.
People keep asking about that. They really want to do
Yeah.
it again. So
They just said
we're doing it.
the Geek Bowl was recently, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like the one we went to last year, right? I think they just had it not too long ago here in Austin again.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got thrown at the national championship world level.
We
basically,
represented Seattle in
Yeah.
Austin.
by accident.
Whoops.
somewhere.
That was
Traitors.
fun.
My favorite part of that was when Brandon came and we told him like at the place that we only need 6 people, we can't have 7. So he just goes, "I'll leave." Like he bailed at the door. I think he realized faster than anybody that we were playing for the world championship.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was good of him to realize his shortcomings. Like, that's it, I'm out.
We made it as high as tied for 7th, I think. Like they halfway
First
through
half.
they give the halfway through they give you the scores, and then the end they give you the scores.
Well,
And
we were tied for 3rd, but there were like 7
that's
teams
right.
locked
Okay, that's
up.
what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
But we were up there. That's
Who the fuck's ruining the fact that Ray's going to get flowers?
Yeah,
they're already tweeting at
a
him?
lot of people are actually already. They want to be the first to spoil it, I guess. That Ray's getting
Why are
flowers.
people just crap?
Ricky Gervais was actually when he was on the Daily Show. Going back to the YouTube thing, he was talking about on Twitter. He tweeted, "If no one retweets this tweet, I will donate $10,000 to charity." And like 200 people would retweet it immediately. And they'd be like, "No, seriously, if no one retweets this, I will donate $10,000 charity."
That's really funny.
Immediately retweet it. That's awesome.
That's a way to seem like cool,
Yeah.
but you know that you never have to give the money.
You know you're
like,
you're
I was totally
solid.
going to give money to
But here's
charity.
the thing. I like charity and stuff, and I like Ricky Gervais, but I would probably retweet that.
You're an
Just because it's
asshole.
easiest. Boop.
And you would ruin the charity?
Yeah.
What if that was the $10,000 that would have bought the sandwich show to cure cancer? Like, that was it.
If
gonna
you were
keep it going.
choking to death on a sandwich, and someone showed you a sandwich.
What if someone showed you a balloon? You're like, there's air in that.
I can make it just a little further.
How quickly does air go away? How quickly does it disperse into other air?
Supposedly, every time you take a breath, you have a molecule of air in that breath from every other breath that's ever been taken. That's how fast air and gas disperse.
I don't believe facts like that.
That
like
makes,
if you
like,
take a breath
breathing
right now,
feel
you're taking a
really-
breath that has a molecule of air in it from Napoleon's last breath.
What if you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and you take a breath?
It's there you go. Well, Napoleon, guess what? Wasn't a neighbor of ours. He was in France, motherfucker. What if you're in the ocean? Oh, the ocean. Nah, fuck that.
Napoleon's from Buda. He's fine. He was from close by.
Or how far back does it go? Like, could you be like, there's a molecule of air that a dinosaur took a breath of?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I've always heard.
If you believe in dinosaurs.
So you could be like, "Oh, stop drinking the Hitler air right now." Like,
Yeah.
Stop drinking that
the
air.
Hitler air. Stop drinking the Hitler air.
Well, that was my brother was that actually the horrible thing my brother told me was one time he came and farted in the room, and I said that stinks. He goes, "You can smell that?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That means air that was in my butt is now inside your lungs." And I was like, that was like the worst thing anyone had ever said to me.
Didn't he tell you that little particles of poop were in your nose?
We're in my nose.
Well,
Yeah,
that is true, isn't it? That's what the smell is.
He's a horrible person, my brother.
Oh my
Like,
god.
what is a smell? Is a smell a physical molecule of air?
There was a company in the '90s that was trying to make a USB attachment to computers that was called the I Smell. Right?
Everyone be
Was
fine.
it I Smell or E Smell?
I don't remember.
That was in the E era.
It's
not
probably the E era, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they were going to have like, then they said like, to construct every smell, you only need like 40 building blocks. And then they had these cartridges and you put in it. And the product just
It's
never
like a
went anywhere.
smell printer.
Pretty much. I mean, we're laughing about it, but we have a 3D printer, so, you know, we have this
That
thing.
makes stuff. Like a smell, it's like, you just printed a smell. Oh, it's gone.
It was on the cover of Wire.
It's like, oh, that was awesome. Nope, gone.
Well, you had that vial of dirt smell, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, there's a company called, I don't know if it's Demeter or Demeter, but it's Demeter. And it's called the Demeter Scent Library. And you can buy cologne that smells like dirt. And I gave you my grass one, a fresh cut grass, a sawdust cologne. They even have like Play-Doh. They have all
so
these scents.
if every time you smell something, you're actually sucking in a molecule of that smell, and it's going and touching a part of your nose, could you collect all of them and recreate the object that it's from? Like, if I just took all the poo smell and bundled it all together, could I just get a turd at the end of it?
No.
No.
You saying there's two turds and one of them's like a ghost turd?
Do you think
that one of them is the
turd
smell of the
gets
turd?
smaller as it stinks because it's like
Well,
giving off
no.
particles of itself, and eventually the turd disappears because it's all gone as smell?
And then it smells great.
If you fart, the little molecules of turd are coming out. Because that's what you're smelling.
I don't think it's what that is, Gavin. I don't think that's what that
No, because if there's a
I
physical
work with this guy.
molecule that has to touch the inside of your nose, it had to have come from something. It didn't just get invented in the air. So you could combine all of them and have a turd.
No, you can't. You can't. It's what if you're smelling. First of all, if you're smelling a fart. That's not the same thing as a turd. First of all, you're
All right, but
simplifying
what
vape
is a
particle.
fart?
I think it's
Turd
methane
smell.
gas.
Methane, yeah.
It's methane gas.
We just rocked Gavin's world.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But it's
And we all, I think, did we talk about last time? We talked about the number of particles and something, or like the size of particles. Like one of the big mind fucks was that a particle of dust is halfway between the size of a subatomic particle and
The sun, right?
the planet Earth.
Earth, okay.
Just a scale of that. It's just immense. So it's
but imagine it like dust, but on a smaller scale.
dust.
Bigger or smaller? Which one?
Well, no, like
you said
you
both.
can like dust is tiny. It comes off skin and that, and it floats around. But you get enough of it, and you can have a big clump of dust.
I think smell is something that's entirely made up by your brain.
Yeah,
it's like
well, it is. Your
receptors in
brain
nose.
perceives it that way, but it is a physical thing.
Didn't we? I mean, this reminds me a lot of our discussion of taste a long time ago about how we figured out that the tongue just feels objects, and that's how it determines taste. Like different objects match differently to your different taste buds and receptors.
Say you had a drop of lemon juice and a drop of water. They feel the same, don't they?
All right. Well, here's a. Have you had the?
Feel in what way?
Maybe it means
They're
like
the
in your
same-
fingers.
But what about the fruit that changes the way your tongue?
Because it
perceives-
reshapes them.
It reshapes, your taste
reshapes
buds.
the.
Oh, yeah, it like attaches on them and then
changes.
changes the shape.
Oh, this device is back. It's now come back as something called Ollie. Ollie is a USB aroma generator.
There's no I or E on that.
Notifies you with odors. Smell, being the most visceral of senses, has been very intelligently employed to fabricate a concept called Ollie.
I would say touch is the most
that'd be
visceral of
great if
senses
you-
by definition.
You send someone an email and it smells like fart or something.
Freshly baked tweets. Piping hot emails. I don't know. It doesn't say what smells it makes.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here soon.
Anyway, so you can buy this thing. I find that smell is one of those things that can also trigger memories faster than anything else.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess
That's the thing.
What's your head?
Like they say that.
Yes, that is a thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Smell-based memory. Yeah.
Yeah, but he said I find that. And everyone found that.
Would you like to date a girl who has no sense of smell?
Would I like to date a girl who has no sense of smell? No, because then she would probably fucking stink.
That's,
But people can't smell themselves.
but on the same note, she could never smell you.
I'm not well. I have some stink, but no, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, because she had no sense of smell. She had no sense of taste too.
Oh,
Yeah.
but then it'd be easier to hook
Even
up
better.
with her if she got no sense of taste. Like, hey, baby, what's up? You like what I got? I was thinking of the Wild and Crazy Guys from SNL.
That's Gus's mating dance that he does.
God.
All right, well, we're out of time here. So
Are you excited for Fast and Furious 6,
we're wrapping
Gus?
up. I am excited for Fast and Furious 6. We'll have
Holy
to talk about that
shit.
next week, though. 'Cause we're done here. We're already in the wide. So thanks for watching, everyone.
We're in
That
the
was the
wide.
best ending.
Gotta cut it out.
Bye.
Bye.
With the show, it's the Drunk Tank Podcast. Oh wait, my mistake. It's the Rooster Teeth. Here we go. Just a roll. Jeff and Burnie too. Here comes Jack. Who is that? But before we are through, here comes Joel. Find gold. Beat my wife for the win. Karen's fist will assist. Knocking ice cream with a grin. Grab your sword. Grab your sheath. Not to mention the mead. Take a seat. Wipe your feet. It's the Rooster Teeth. Ah.